Naruto, starting the live broadcast to the ninja world. Greetings, fellow multiversal adventurers. It's an honor to have you back in this saga that has us all hooked. Official channel statement: this story is 100% epic fiction, so please don't attempt real magic. The results aren't guaranteed and insurance won't cover it. The rights to this masterpiece belong entirely to its brilliant original author. We are just a barge sharing it with you. Do you want to keep being part of this amazing community? Join our ninja army of subscribers on YouTube and give this content a like. And for true fans who want to support us, our Ko-Fi has exclusive ninjutsu waiting for you. Chapter 401: The Courage is Back. A ninja beside him echoed, "I thought so too." Madara probably didn't expect that Qiu of Tsunagakure could actually create a jutsu that could revive people, otherwise Madara would definitely have made another move to prevent any accidents. You think that when the ninjas of the village killed Nagato's parents, was it possible that they were under Madara's illusion? Rain Country, the Eye of Reincarnation. Seeing this, Pain closed his eyes. As expected, his eyes were complicated. I'm not actually the child of destiny, but just a pawn used by Uchiha Madara and Uchiha Obito. At this moment, he began to doubt himself. There is only one savior of the ninja world, and that is Uzumaki Naruto, who was sent here by Obito, and he was just a guy who tried to bring pain to the ninja world, but was defeated by the true savior. It's not something he's self-righteously trying to bring peace to the ninja world. Only the savior has the right path. On screen, Madara leaped to Wu's side, glanced at him, and formed the way seal with his hands. Don't get me wrong, this power is not created by you. After saying this, Susanoo reappeared around him. The next moment, a shadow enveloped the Ninja Alliance and the Ninja Alliance Dankang. The sound of weapons falling to the ground was heard. Watching the meteorite falling from above. Asshole, how is it possible? What on earth is this? Temari said in despair. Our strength is not in the same dimension. Gaara murmured in a daze. The power of God. Rain Country, fuck. Biwa Juzang was shocked and said, this is a meteorite. What else could it be? This is a big meteorite. Fire Nation Muai Village. Sarutobi Clan. Sarutobi Hiruzen's already pale face was covered in sweat. You can actually do something like this? How can this be the power of a ninja? Hyuga Clan. Boruto's mouth opened into an O shape. Pulling down a meteorite directly? That's too much, right? Ninja world hiss, it's fatal. If Madara had been a little more serious, even the top fighters in the allied ninja forces would have had no chance to fight back. He is indeed like a god to the allied ninja forces. Before Naruto and Sasuke grew up, the only one who could resist Madara was Emperor Kai. Not even Hashirama could do it. 1 against 20,000. The advantage is on me. There is no one else in the ninja world who is as domineering as me. On screen, someone in the Ninja Alliance looked at Inoki flying into the air and screamed, "Tsuchikage-sama!" Madara looked at the figure in the air. A flying ninja? Then he should be the kid Inoki from the Hidden Rock Village. Madara Inoki used his head and hands to hold the meteorite in place. Earth escape, super light and heavy rock technique. Garo raised his hands, and a huge amount of sand on the ground surged upwards, helping Inoki to hold the meteorite. Seeing this, Madara said, the 2-day scale kid has become more powerful. Ninja Alliance. Seeing the meteorite stop in midair, the ninjas cheered. Great, stop. A Konoha ninja collapsed to the ground and breathed a sigh of relief after surviving the disaster. Garo lowered his hands. A smile appeared on Naruto's face. Inoki, whose face was covered in sweat, also smiled downwards. Madara spoke slowly. So, what can you do about the second one, Inoki? As soon as he finished speaking, another meteorite appeared above the previous one. The video ends here. Ninja world. So, as long as Madara wants, he can destroy all the ninjas at any time. Madara's previous taijutsu was just for fun with the Ninja Alliance, or to stretch his muscles. If he can summon 2 meteorites, that means he can also summon 3 or 4. Madara now has unlimited chakra. If he plays around with it casually, it will be a disaster for the Ninja Alliance. It's okay. There must be a solution. Naruto is still in there. The fact that Naruto and Gaara are alive already proves a lot. In the end, Madara failed and began to doubt his own path. I don't know what happened in between. Did Naruto preach to him? Anyway, in this battle, Temari left a deep impression on me. Apart from her, in the whole battle, only Gaara used sand to touch Madara. Although he had 2 brushes, they were just 2. I don't know which one is better, Infinite Tsukuyomi or peace in the real world, but between Naruto and Madara, I will definitely support Naruto. Don't ask why. The answer is that this video has been played and my courage is back. On screen, a majestic rock background music sounded. There is also a line of small words at the bottom of the screen. Background music. Last ride of the day, Ninja World. This background music really matches the battle just now, the Ten Tails. It's the Ten Tails. A figure appeared. Is it Madara again? On screen the young Uchiha Madara raised his head little by little, and his expression began to change: youth, middle age, old age, and reincarnation. Next, there was a scene of Madara leaping off the rock pillar and charging towards the allied ninja forces, but this time, the pace is much faster. The combat moves are timed to the beat of the music. It makes people feel passionate when watching it. I wish I could get into the screen and have a fight with Madara. The video quickly progresses to the moment after Ban releases 2 meteorites Madara held out his 2 hands would release. The tree world arrives, countless trees rose from the ground, and in an instant, a forest appeared before Madara's eyes. Then, Naruto's voice was heard: Big Ball Rasengan. I saw Naruto rushing into the sea of trees with large Rasengan in his hands. Below the number is staggering: Big Ball Spiral Belt Ball, Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan. Boruto looked shocked. The number of Naruto's shadow clones really shocked him. Ninja World. Naruto's shadow clones holding the large Rasengan were endless. This number is almost catching up with the Ninja Alliance, right? Gives me the feeling that Naruto now can face a large army of ninjas all by himself. Perhaps, Menma may not be Naruto's opponent. Just like Obito said, it was not unexpected for him to win. With this background music, I feel that Madara gives people a stronger sense of oppression, which is more exciting than a simple battle. It feels like it was made to match the music. Although it looks good, the rhythm is too fast and many battle details cannot be seen. Pure Land. A happy smile appeared on Izuna's face. So cool, bro. He could see that these people from another world liked his elder brother very much. These edited clips, coupled with the incomprehensible background music, would make him, let alone ordinary ninjas, feel fear, depression, and excitement most of the time. Clearly, whoever made this video put a lot of effort into it. The eldest brother was very happy to be recognized by people from other worlds. Chapter 402. This is the power of Uchiha Madara. On screen in mid-air, fireballs flew towards the 5 shadows. As soon as Madara's figure landed on a rock, he was hit by the Rumime's water jutsu. After Gaara dodged the fireball, he reached out for Susanoo, and Tsuneko tied Madara's Susanoo tightly. The 4th Raikage hit Susanoo with one punch after another. The blue Susanoo chopped down with 2 swords in its hands, and the 5 Kage's body slammed heavily into the huge tree trunk. Madara made seals with both hands. Fire style, great fire extinction. The moment the scorching fire spear hit the tree trunk, the sea of fire quickly spread. 4 Kage stood behind Inoki, supplying him with chakra. Inoki clasped his hands together. Dust release, limit peeling technique. A huge square transparent barrier appeared, covering the 25 Susanus of Madaramo's clones. Did you see that? This is the full strength of the 5 Kage. Madara, who was slowly being covered by the sand, whispered, I see. Just when he was about to be sealed, next moment, boom, the sand was blown up by the blue Susanoo. As expected of the ninjas who bear the name of Shadow, then, I, Uchiha Madara, will also fight with all my strength. The original Susanoo's figure rose infinitely taller, and the Karasu Tengu armor and wings on his body emerged. The 5 Kage are nothing but mere grains of sand. As soon as he finished speaking, Susanoo slashed out with 2 powerful blows, leaving 2 deep gullies on the ground, and the 2 mountains in the distance were directly cut off. Is this the power of Uchiha Madara? Inoki looked at this scene in great shock. Then, why didn't you kill us then? Madara looked down at him. What adult would get angry with a child? Country of Earth. Iwagakure Deidara couldn't help but laugh out loud. PFFT. Old man, you're being treated like a child? Inoki's face darkened and he rubbed his palms, intending to give the traitor a hard hit on the back of the head. However, Deidara, who was completely unaware of the situation, was still courting death. People who don't know about that incident, would they think I'm talking about your height? Veins popped out on Inoki's forehead. Deidara stroked his chin and said, I wonder if after you finish saying, see? This is the full strength of the 5 Kage, will the other 4 Kage ask you to stop talking in your heart? Inoki gathers his strength. Traitor. Look at my palm. Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan. Boruto gasped. Hiss, it split a mountain in half. Wow, this is such a cool move, Niji. I thought you would say that was awesome, but I didn't expect you to just think it was cool. Ninja World. The power of this great fire extinguishing feels even greater than the power of the previous great fire extinguishing. I'm impressed by what Madara said. Who would get angry with a child? Madara will become the sage of 6 paths in the future. Now he is just the impure world reincarnation. Fighting the 5 Kage is like a piece of cake. On screen Naruto in Nine Tails mode slapped Madara with a tail beast ball in his hand. Madara raised the fan in his hand and spoke slowly. Uchiha rebounds. Boom. Naruto's figure flew backwards with the aftermath of the explosion of the tail beast ball. The screen went black and Madara's voice rang out. The art of reincarnation. It only takes a moment to end the battle. Naruto was kicked away by Madara at such a fast speed that even he couldn't react in Sage mode. The next moment, Madara came to Sai and kicked him to the other side. Screen turned and it's your turn next. Madara stepped on the back of a Konoha ninja and looked down at the tailed beast below. Beasts were grave. Border prison. Bang bang bang. The 9-tailed beasts not far away fell to the ground one after another as if they had suffered a heavy blow. The 10 tails opened its mouth, and 9 chains emerged from its mouth to tie up the 9-tailed beast. Screen turned boom. After the 9 tails was extracted from Naruto, his figure was shaken as he flew backwards. Madara leaned back, avoiding Tobirama's sneak attack and at the same time twisted his wrist, causing the kunai to fly behind Madara. A black stick appeared in Madara's hand, and just as he was about to stab him, Tobirama's figure appeared in the position of the kunai. He clenched his kunai and stabbed Madara with his backhand. Screen turn. The door was nailed to the ground. Pure Land. The corner of Tobirama's mouth twitched. Izuna couldn't help but laugh. This transition is a bit naughty, but I like it. Well done, Ninja World. Tobirama's tactics, one link after another, are quite powerful. In the face of absolute strength, no moves are useful. Tobirama has a high IQ and a high combat IQ, but it's a pity that he met Madara. By the way, Madara's reaction speed is unmatched. Even Space-Time can't sneak attack him. Unlike future Naruto and Sasuke, Uchiha Shin's main Gekyo ability can hurt them. On screen Sasuke was frozen in mid-air with a chi sound. The Kusanagi sword pierced his heart. Sasuke's eyes suddenly widened. I told you that I don't have much time left. Screen turned. The 10 tails poured into Madara's body. His hair gradually turned white, and his originally bare upper body was covered with a white robe with black Magatama printed on it. A number of Seeking Truth Jades appeared behind him. Madara held a six-path staff in his hand and looked at Might Guy opposite him. 8 gates of Dungia. The 7th gate, the Gate of Shock. Open. After all the attacks were dodged by Madara. Open. The 8 gates of Dungia. Looking at the rising red dragon not far away. With this kind of chakra, I recognize you. Among all the physical ninjas I have fought, no one is better than you. I, Uchiha Madara, would like to call you the strongest. Yeke. A stream of blood spurted out of Madara's mouth, and Kai's ribs and leg bones began to shatter into pieces. Ninja World. It has to be Emperor Kai. Look at the previous 5 Kage, and then look at this scene to understand how strong Kai is. With a comparison, you can feel it more intuitively. Actually, I think Madara could have dodged it at first. He just wanted to take the kick head on. When Emperor Kai kicked over, the space was distorted, and he couldn't dodge it, and it was useless to regret it. Although Madara is very powerful, I feel that he is very lonely. He is obviously doing this for the peace of the ninja world. In the final analysis, it is because he will force everyone to fall into the illusion together. Otherwise, Madara and Obito are the real saviors of the ninja world. Anyway, I will definitely not reject the infinite Tsukuyomi world, even though it is just an illusory world. The video with the background music makes my blood boil, but the protagonist of the video is the enemy of the entire ninja world. An enemy who wants to make the ninja world a better place. Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan. Wow, Boruto's eyes sparkled. I have only heard about Mr. Kai's deeds, but it is far less shocking than seeing it with my own eyes. Niji at the side said, these are just some clips. What we saw before started from when Mr. Guy was a child. Boruto looked expectant. Uncle, can you tell me about it? When he gets back, he will tell his friends about it. Of course, the more details the better. Niji nodded. It starts from the time when Karen Ninja School failed the entrance test. Chapter 403 Kaguya and number 039, S story. On screen turned. Madara controlled the truth-seeking ball and shot it at Kai, who had turned into charcoal. Naruto suddenly appeared and kicked the Dao-seeking ball away. Madara held up 2 fingers. Immortal technique, Yin Dun Lei Pai. Naruto threw the black stick in his hand at the incoming black lightning, blocking it in front of him and Sasuke. Immortal technique, Storm Release Light Fang. Naruto dodged by jerking his upper body back, and the black stick in his hand was directly cut by the chakra ray. Madara clasped his hands together. Earth explosion star. Densely packed rock balls are falling downwards from the sky. Final scene. Madara held up 2 fingers and looked at the moon light up the world. Infinite moon reading. Pure Land. Izuna was a little disappointed. The part where Tobirama Senju was nailed to the ground was too short, not even as long as Obito's 2 minutes. Tobirama sneered and taunted, "You weren't being beaten the whole time, were you only fighting back these few times?" Ninja World. Although it was finally solved by Naruto and Sasuke, it did allow people to experience the infinite moon reading. Even Yin-Tun can make Madara use it to this effect, or maybe this technique is not just Yin-Tun. What a great move. Even if Nagato uses one, Itachi, Naruto, and the Eight Tails Jinchakuri will feel like they are facing a formidable enemy. Is that the end? Is there no more fighting after Madara turns into Kaguya? Although Pine's strength is not as good as Madara's, the pressure he gives me is greater. If I meet Madara, I might die very quickly, but if I meet Pine, I might be scared to the point of peeing. Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan Mr. Kai's story is so inspiring. Boruto's eyes were full of admiration then. He looked at Sasuke on the screen. Sasuke-san is so handsome too. No. That's not right. Sasuke-san has always been handsome, Dad. Oh, Dad used to look so young. On-screen title, Kaguya's story, Ninja World. The mother of the sixth path sage, Kaguya. The biggest impression she left on me was that Abaya-Kyugen was terrifying. I've finally been waiting for this. I've been curious about you for a long time. The legendary goddess of the UE. I saw Madara transform into Kaguya with my own eyes. She is definitely Madara's true self. Fire Nation Muai Village Uchiha Clan Land. Future Sasuke whispered to himself, Kaguya. When Black Zetsu told him in Naruto the story of Kaguya, he didn't feel anything, let alone care, but now, if possible, he would like to find Kaguya to get some information about Akatsuki on screen. The land of ancestors. Look there. There's a flash. This is so suspicious. The Emperor of Zuzi looked at the light spot in the sky that looked like a shooting star and asked in confusion, "What is that? Stars, where can there be such a star?" "It moves," the Emperor ordered. "Chase." "Yes." Screen turned. The Emperor sat on the steps, looking at the white-haired woman kneeling on the ground below. "Woman? You said she fell from the sky?" The middle-aged minister replied. "Yes." This woman appeared from where the light fell. In memory, a ball of light landed in the woods. He was discovered by soldiers from the ancestral country who happened to rush over just as they were on guard. A white-haired woman radiating light slowly walked out. End of memories. The Emperor asked the white-haired woman, "May I have your name?" The white-haired woman remained silent. The middle-aged minister shouted, "Answer quickly. This is the Emperor of the Zuzi Kingdom." The Emperor, "Answer quickly. This woman might be a spy sent by that country. Detain her and make her confess everything." Pure Land. Madara's brows were tightly furrowed. Kaguya is the mother of the sixth path sage and the grandmother of his ancestor Indra, but now she is being treated like this by a group of ordinary people. Ninja World, what's your attitude? The Emperor of the ancestral country is nothing. He is the real body of Madara. These guys are so short-sighted. Kaguya fell from the sky. Don't they have any fear at all? This Emperor looks a bit like my kind grandmother. On screen. Wait, the Emperor just opened his mouth to stop him, then two guards with spears raised suddenly fell to the ground. This guy, what did she do? Seeing the minister draw his sword, the white-haired woman stood up and walked towards the Emperor. The two ministers in the field tried to stop him but also fell to the ground. What happened? The white-haired woman walked to the steps, looked at the Emperor, and spoke slowly. "My name is Kaguya. Wei, Yi." Kaguya continued, "Guardian of the sacred tree." Screen turn. AI knelt down and said respectfully, "From today on, I will be responsible for taking care of Lady Kaguya's daily life." "My name is AI." Kaguya, who was sitting cross-legged on the futon, said nothing. She stood up and walked past Ano. Seeing this, Ano stood up. "Lord Kaguya." Seeing Kaguya looking at a big tree in the distance, Ano said, "I heard that the tree suddenly grew thousands of years ago and became a big tree in the blink of an eye, but there is a terrible rumor about it. It is said that if a person gets close to the tree, his spirit will dry up instantly and he will die like a dead tree." Kaguya turned around. Ano quickly leaned down again. "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said so much." Kaguya said, "Don't worry about it, that's the truth." After saying that, Kaguya looked at the tree again. "One day, screen turn. Your Majesty. Minister Suzaku and Minister Zuanwu of that country request an audience." Screen turn. Wooden tablia map was spread out by the Minister Suzaku of that country. This is the border between the other country and the ancestral country. The problem lies in this lake. This area is currently the territory of the ancestral country, but according to the ancient books found in the other country this time, this place has been the territory of the other country since ancient times. After saying this, Minister Suzaku looked at the Emperor and said, "Please return this land to us." But this lake is the source of water for the ancestral country's farmland. If we give it to your country, Moon Weak, Waste, Pure Land. Danzo's face twitched. What son of heaven of the ancestral country? This is clearly Hiruzen's previous life, explaining the source of farmland water at this time is simply a sign of weakness. The other country is obviously here to test the attitude of the ancestral country. Once they show weakness, the other side will definitely become tougher. Danzo felt that the emperor of the Zuguo kingdom needed a root on screen. Minister Xuanwu looked at the emperor sitting opposite him and said, no matter what the reason is, I only know that stolen goods should be returned to their original owners. This is the truth of the world. He stood up and threatened, if we don't get a satisfactory answer, no matter what kind of disaster befalls our country, we will not bear any responsibility. Hearing this, the emperor was furious. Please be patient. Minister Suzaku said to Minister Xuanwu, I think they also need time to sort out their thoughts. Then he said to the emperor, we will come back to ask for your answer in the future. By the way, I heard that the emperor married the goddess as his concubine. Minister Xuanwu also said, it is said that the woman is stunningly beautiful and full of mystery. I also want to see her. After that, Minister Suzaku and Minister Xuanwu left with a smile. Ninja World, look at the way you guys are courting death. You just open your mouth. Is the goddess of Mao also worthy of a mortal? Don't bring disaster to your country just because you speak rashly. Chapter 404 Nose to Taunt. On screen, the so-called discovered ancient books are probably just nonsense from that country. Hear what the minister said. The emperor said, I understand. That country has always liked to find excuses to provoke wars with neighboring countries to expand its territory. This time is no exception. However, the fighting power of that country is 3 times that of my ancestral country. We have no chance of winning the war, one of the ministers said. Suzaku and Xuanwu, sending these two to our country shows that they are serious. I don't think they will go back so shamelessly, another older minister said. Your Majesty. Let's fight. Since they can't escape, why not let them see how tough our ancestral country is? The emperor looked at him. Don't be impatient, Pure Land. Danzo, feeling a bit familiar. Hiruzen, I'm sure you and Tenko have a lot in common. Humph. Then you should be even tougher. Make up your mind that even if you can't beat me, I will bite a piece of your flesh off. Only in this way can our motherland not be looked down upon by other countries. Besides, if you try to please Kaguya, maybe she can help you defeat that country. Tobirama frowned. If a country is not as powerful as that one, won't it unite with other countries? Fire Nation Muai Village. Sarutobi clan hissed 3 times. That really makes it hard to win. Sarutobi Hiruzen felt helpless about the situation in the ancestral country. Once the war breaks out, I don't know how many people in our country will lose their homes and lives. The emperor's actions naturally have their reasons, and his tolerance is not incomprehensible. As the saying goes, do not meddle in matters that are not your responsibility. On screen evening, the emperor came to Kaguya's residence. I stepped forward and said respectfully, Your Excellency. Shianzi looked at Kaguya's back and asked, what is Kaguya doing? Lord Kaguya looks up at the sky like this every day, as if waiting for someone to come and greet her. The villager said that Kaguya Sama fell from the sky. After listening to Ano's explanation, Shianzi said, I don't remember how I met Kaguya. After that, he looked at Ano. Can you lend me that? Ano noticed his gaze and looked down at her coat. This one. Ninja World, how else could it be? The time span is a bit long, isn't it? So long that Shianzi has forgotten how he met Kaguya. Or is it that Shianzi himself has a bad memory? I really can't stand the faces of the ministers of that country. It's not like there is no hope of winning with 3 times the combat power. After the war is won and the ancestral country receives the war reparations, it will quickly develop its strength and become stronger and stronger. Otherwise, the ancestral country will be swallowed up by the other country sooner or later. On screen, Kaguya was looking up at the sky. A coat was thrown over him. Came the emperor's voice. The night wind keeps blowing. It's very cool, right? Kaguya turned her head to look at him. The emperor looked up at the sky and said, will that shining world really be so beautiful and peaceful forever? Looking up at the night sky, I felt something incredible. In the pitch black space, there was such a beautiful light floating. I can't help but wonder what it is. Will I be able to go there one day? I heard that you stare at the sky every day. Are you waiting for someone? Kaguya said nothing. The emperor looked at her and said, it doesn't matter if it's true. Whenever you feel lonely and look up at the sky, I am willing to be by your side every time. Do you have any wishes? Kaguya blinked and looked up at the sky. My wishes, peace without war. Peace, Moon. No. You don't deserve it. A cowardly and incompetent person like you is not worthy of being by my side. Somewhere in the ninja world Black Zetsu gritted his teeth. You're just like Kagura Mohamura, you both betrayed Mom. When I heard you say you were willing to stay by Mom's side, I felt disgusted on her behalf. Ninja world, it's actually peace without war. This wish. In my eyes, Kaguya has already overlapped with Madara. It's a pity that the ninja world has not achieved peace until now. Even though Naruto has opened a new era of peace, there are still people like Meru who are enough to cause a crisis of world destruction. The lifespan of the goddess of Mao is unknown. If she were a normal person, she would be very lonely indeed. She might actually be moved by the words of the emperor, not to mention the son of heaven of the ancestor country. Even the lord of the world is not worthy of the goddess of the rabbit. She is the origin of chakra. Without her, there would not even be any ninjas now. I hope Kaguya won't be moved. This emperor lacks the ability and courage. He is so useless. On screen when the people of Zuzi country were farming, suddenly an arrow hit a wooden stake not far from him. He looked up and happened to see the minister of the other country, Suzaku, loosening the bowstring in his hand. That's from that country. What the hell? You look down on me. As he spoke, the man clenched the sickle in his hand. Another man not far from him hurriedly stopped him and said, "Stop. Can't you see they are provoking you, hateful?" The man holding the sickle smashed the wooden stake into pieces with one punch. Screen turn, your majesty. When he got closer, the minister continued, the people of that country are committing crimes at the border, and the behavior is getting worse. We must take countermeasures. The people's anger has reached its limit, the emperor said with a serious face. I know, but you must not attack the people of that country. But, what I want is peace. Once the war starts, many people will die. After that, the emperor ordered, try to negotiate peace with that country. Anyone who dares to attack someone from that country will be executed in my name. This, Pure Land Izuna covered her forehead, cannot watch any more. No eyes to see, no eyes to see at all. The people of Zu country are so unlucky to have such an emperor. The corners of Danzo's mouth twitched. That's a good excuse, if it weren't for the last sentence. He would have really believed that this is the first time I've seen a guy who is even worse than Heroes in Fire Nation Muai Village Sarutobi clan. I can understand the other things, but executing one's own people. Sarutobi Hirozen said that he could not understand Tenko's thought process. This is what I said. Pretty stupid. Aren't you afraid of losing the support of the people? Hyuga clan. Niji looked at Boruto with a strange expression. Why are you still laughing? Boruto couldn't help himself and let out another puff. There are only so many people in our country. If we kill 2 more, our national strength will be 4 times greater than that of that country. Hearing this, Rizu's mouth twitched. Niji gave a thumbs up. Nephew, you understand sarcasm. Ninja world in the country of our ancestors. Only this emperor has no blood in his veins. I'll look down on him. The attitude of that country is really disgusting. It is almost as bad as that of the emperor, who completely disregards the borders and the people. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 405 What Brain Circuit. The emperor doesn't think that his concession will make the other country stop, right? If he can give in once, he can give in countless times. Sooner or later, he will become the king of a ruined country. Wait, it will happen in your lifetime. Compared to the emperor of my ancestral country, I admire the emperor of that country more. They expand their territory and suppress small countries to strengthen themselves. Sooner or later, they will be unified. That is the correct way of peace. Even if my ancestral country is stronger than that country, with such an enterprising emperor, that country will sooner or later become the strongest country. On screen, Minister Suzaku of the other country came to a cliff at the border of the ancestral country and sneered downwards. Behind him stood soldiers from that country. Screen turn. Kaguya's residence is the emperor here. AI looked at the minister and 2 soldiers below and said with a smile, yes, the master comes every day. It seems that Kaguya-sama's attitude has softened recently, and the 2 of them have been spending more time together. The minister shouted angrily, I didn't ask you that. Ano was stunned obviously. He didn't expect the minister to react like this. The minister shouted, Your Majesty. Your Majesty. Not long the emperor walked out of the room. What are you shouting in the middle of the night? The minister said urgently. The army of that country is approaching the border. What? The emperor was shocked. Then he turned to look at Kaguya. Kaguya, I have to go to the battlefield immediately. Kaguya asked softly, going to war? No. Ultimately, it's for peace. But if the situation gets worse, having said this, Xianzi stopped talking and turned to AI and ordered, hurry up and prepare a hiding place. Yes, Xianzi looked at Kaguya and comforted her with a smile. Don't worry, I'll be back soon. Kaguya said nothing. Ninja world, my head is full of question marks now. Why did Xianzi come out of Kaguya's room? And Kaguya's attitude, no way. It's not what I think it is it? On screen the army is ready to go. The emperor, who was carrying a bow and arrow, said to the minister beside him who was also carrying a bow and arrow, let's set off too. Yes, the emperor turned around and said to those behind him, the protection of the house is now in your hands. A man behind him responded, don't worry. Screen turned the rear of the army. A soldier threw a ball of paper on the ground. Soon, the paper ball was picked up by a hand. Ninja world, the ancestral country is going to be gone. I understand. The emperor died on the battlefield, so Kaguya became what she was later. There are only so few people, and there are spies among them. On screen inside the camp of the other country's army, Minister Suzaku spread out the paper ball. HMPH. That woman named Kaguya left the capital of Zugu? This is a good opportunity to get that woman. Minister Zuanwu looked at him and said, why rush? Zasi country will soon be in our hands. Are you afraid that you won't be able to get a woman? I want to get what I want as soon as possible. That's my style. Erotic. Minister Suzaku ignored him. He gave the order to those below, gather the experts, chase after Kaguya immediately. Yes, screen turn in a courtyard on the top of a mountain. Kaguya was kneeling on the ground, looking up at the sky. Anno's voice sounded from behind. Can't you sleep? Can I accompany you? As she said this, she knelt down next to Kaguya. The guard in the courtyard was shot on the chest and fell to the ground. Minister Suzaku, who was walking in front, waved his hand. The shouts of soldiers from that country rang out. The Zu Kingdom guards shouted in panic. Enemy attack! Fight! The shouting and screaming became louder and louder. Anno, who was sleeping next to Kaguya, was woken up. A maid ran over and reported, Lord Kaguya. Lord Anno, AI asked, what's wrong? When asking this question, Minister Suzaku had already arrived not far in front of the group. You are hiding in a place like this. AI opened his arms and stood in front of Kaguya, looking at Minister Suzaku who was walking in front of him, and asked, who are you? Do you know that this is the Emperor's concubine, son of heaven? I am from that country. It has nothing to do with me. This country is about to be destroyed. At this point, an evil smile appeared on his face. That is to say, the Emperor's things will be mine. He looked at Kaguya's appearance and couldn't help but sigh. The beauty is indeed well deserved, and he has an extraordinary demeanor. From now on, you are mine, Ai said anxiously. Lord Kaguya. Run. After saying that, Kaguya ran to the side of the house with the two maids. Don't even think about running. Minister Suzaku and the soldiers behind him quickly chased after him. After running around two corners, Kaguya and the other two were completely surrounded by soldiers from the other country. Kaguya walked down the stairs slowly. Ai said nervously, Lord Kaguya. Minister Suzaku narrowed his eyes and whispered to himself, she is still fearless in this situation? I like her more and more. Ninja world, just keep on dying. Does Kaguya not want to act anymore? She can easily kill these ordinary soldiers with just one ninjutsu. Without Kaguya's protection, Zu country will surely be destroyed. This emperor can be easily controlled by a minister of that country. On screen, Minister Suzaku ordered, catch her. Two soldiers from the other country ran forward and were about to reach out to grab Kaguya, but their bodies flew out directly. Kaguya looked down at them and said, don't touch me. Seeing this incredible scene, several soldiers from the other country subconsciously took a step back. Don't back off. Hearing Minister Suzaku's words, 4 more soldiers stepped forward. Boom. The bodies of the 4 soldiers exploded directly, and blood spurted out far away, even splashing on Minister Suzaku's face. The maid covered her eyes and screamed in fear. Minister Suzaku looked stunned. Is the true identity of the enchanting woman a monster? The ancestral country is completely finished now. Screen turn. I hope you will withdraw your troops as soon as possible. Looking at the Emperor across the table, Minister Zuanwu said, Your Excellency, the Emperor seems to have misunderstood something. I deployed the army not to fight, but to protect the border. The ministers around the Emperor said angrily, Is it necessary to make such a big fuss to protect the border? The Emperor said, Our country does not want to fight. The proof is that I have ordered that if anyone in our country dares to harm someone in that country, he will be executed immediately. Pure Danzo's brain froze for a moment. What is the Emperor's train of thought? If Kaguya is willing to help the ancestral country conquer other countries, the world will be unified. One spell can kill a few people, but it will definitely scare away many. In this case, the final victory will definitely belong to the ancestral country. This emperor, is there something wrong with his brain? How dare he tell this to the ministers of that country? Aren't you afraid that they will deliberately send people to oppress the people of the ancestral country? By then, there will be no need for the other country to take action, and the people of the ancestral country will rebel on their own. Chapter 406 Chasing Troops. As the emperor finished speaking, the voice of Minister Suzaku was heard. I see. As he walked towards here, he was holding the bound maid from the ancestral kingdom. Then please execute Kaguya. The emperor looked at Minister Suzaku, whose face was still stained with blood, and was a little confused about what he said. Minister Suzaku said with a sinister look on his face, the woman named Kaguya not only killed my subordinates, but also wanted to kill me. Shianzi's pupils shrank. This is impossible. Are you talking about Kaguya? If you don't believe it, you can ask this woman. The emperor looked at the maid and asked, is this true? Yes. Lady Kaguya used her terrible power to kill the soldiers of that country. Having said this, the maid lowered her head in fear. Your Excellency, if you want to avoid war, use Kaguya's head in exchange. The emperor's pupils trembled and sweat kept coming out of his face. The atmosphere was silent for a while. The emperor suddenly said, let's go back. After the two walked away, Minister Zuanwu looked at the blood on Minister Zhu's face and asked, are you okay? Minister Suzaku looked back at him and said, that woman named Kaguya is a scary monster. Let them kill the monster. Let's take advantage of this opportunity to seize everything. Screen turn. In Kaguya's garden, the emperor and his ministers looked at the tragic scene in front of them with shock. This was done by Kaguya. The minister looked at the emperor. No matter what the reason was, it is true that he almost killed Lord Suzaku. The emperor frowned and a drop of sweat slid down his face. Kaguya, the minister asked solemnly, what do you think, Lord Emperor? Do you really want to hand over Lord Kaguya's head? If you don't hand over the head, you can't avoid the war. The minister looked at him in shock. Are you really going to do this? The emperor's face was covered with sweat. After a moment, he made a decision. The whole army is hunting down Kaguya. We will find her even if we have to dig deep underground. After giving the order, he turned his back. Suddenly I have no choice. Upon hearing Shianzi's words, the ninja world exploded. Pure Land Danzo was startled. Hold Kaguya in your hands, bow to that country, and hand over Kaguya's head. I was wrong before. How could Monkey have so many common topics with you? If you were the emperor, he would probably destroy the other country directly and would not give the other party a chance to beg for peace. This emperor has played a good hand of cards badly. Madara closed his eyes in despair. How can there be such stupid people in the world? In order to avoid war, after muttering to himself, he gave his approval. You are a little too extreme. Hoshirama clenched his fists angrily. Peace should not be exchanged in this way. No matter how nice the words sound, it's nothing more than using Kaguya's head to ask for peace. Somewhere in the ninja world the anger in Black Zetsun's eyes was hard to suppress. You fool who can't see the situation clearly. Only by sending your head over can you truly avoid war. Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan Boruto was speechless. If it were anyone else, they would have clung to Kaguya's thighs long ago. Ninja world, I think it's because they are afraid of that country, the emperor's brain. Even if he sends Kaguya's head, she can still go back on her word. Avoiding war really gave him a good excuse for his cowardice. On screen on the mountain in the forest, Kaguya and Ano were walking towards the sacred tree. Ano stopped and turned his head to look down the mountain. Is that the pursuers? Kaguya walked over to her and looked down at the torches below. Suddenly, she protected Ai and with a flick of her sleeves, she blocked the arrows with flaming tips in front of the two of them. Looking at the mark on the arrow, Ai said in disbelief, this is from the Zuzi kingdom, so the pursuers were sent by the emperor. Kaguya walked towards the sacred tree. Go quickly, my destiny coexists with the sacred tree. I do not know how long it has been. The two ran towards the sacred tree not far away. Ai said to Kaguya beside him, Kaguya-sama, as long as you explain it clearly to the emperor, he will definitely forgive you. Shhhhhhhh. Ano cried out in surprise as she saw an arrow flying past her. She said worriedly, Lord Kaguya. Kaguya closed her eyes and frowned. My power, Lord Kaguya, if you hurt the fetus in your belly, it's too cruel. How could the emperor be so cruel? Kaguya looked at the sacred tree. I have to get to the sacred tree no matter what. You go ahead. I'll take care of this. Having said that, Ai ran towards the pursuers with a fearless attitude. Wait a minute. Kaguya wanted to call her, but was interrupted by her shouting. Lord Emperor! Please withdraw your troops. Please withdraw your troops. In Lord Kaguya's belly, called out, Chi-Chi. 2 arrows hit Ano's body. Ano's legs went limp and his knees slid forward a distance. Tears welled up in her eyes. Shishi. 2 more arrows hit her at the moment of falling. She said weakly, there is the Emperor's. Hey. Ano lay on the ground, his body shaking twice. Kaguya-sama, a healthy baby. After she finished speaking with tears streaming down her face, she completely stopped breathing. Ano. Kaguya held her belly with her hands, looking sad. The next moment, she turned and ran towards the sacred tree, country of earth Iwagakyordidara, with a big bump on his head. Look angry, it makes me so angry. I am so angry and aggrieved. I want to blow this bastard emperor to the sky. Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan Hayashi side. Even if the white eyes can see through everything, they cannot see through the despicable hearts of human beings. Rain Country Naruto looked angry. Damn it. How could the emperor be so cruel? Ninja World. In other words, Shinopsis is the biological father of the six-path sage. The dignified chakra ancestor was taken as a concubine by the emperor of a country that couldn't be any smaller, not even the principal wife. I wouldn't say anything about that, but they actually wanted to send the chakra ancestor's head to ask for peace. What exactly did Kaguya like about the emperor? Was he a coward? Was he weak? Was he a bully? Or was he mentally ill? Six-path sage, your father is such a scumbag. I suddenly had a child. I was caught off guard when I heard the news. When was the baby born? The live broadcast didn't show anything I really wanted to see. Ano is a good girl. Kaguya treats her very well, so she values Kaguya and the baby in her belly more than her own life. This chakra ancestor is the same. He can't even tell the difference between people and gives me a silly feeling. It's completely different from my previous impression. Hashi-lama, is this the reason why you are not with Madara? Do you mind that his real body was pregnant with someone else's child? Chapter 407 Lighting Up the World. On screen at the same time the army of that country is on the way. The time has come to destroy the ancestral country. Go ahead, Minister Suzaku stood in the back. In this way, the motherland will be ours near the sacred tree. The emperor looked at Kaguya, who ran to the sacred tree and whispered softly, Kaguya. Under the sacred tree, Kaguya opened her arms and a ball of light slowly descended from above. Kaguya caught it with her hands. Looking at the chakra fruit in her hand, she took a bite without hesitation. Next moment Kaguya's aura suddenly changed. A red rinnegan with 9 magatama opened on her forehead, 2 horns grew on her head, and black magatama patterns appeared on her clothes. Her figure flew into the sky. There seemed to be a huge crack in the sky. In the crack, the full moon had unexpectedly turned into the shape of the 9 magatama rinnegan. Kaguya raised her head and looked at the moon in the crack. Light up this world, infinite moon reading. As she finished her words, the red moon burst into dazzling light, enveloping everyone. The army of that country, Minister Suzaku. Everyone's eyes turned into the shape of the rinnegan. At this moment countless vines emerged from the ground. Green things like ribbons emerged from the vines and wrapped around everyone. Kaguya stood before the emperor before his consciousness was about to fade away. Shinopsis asked, who are you? Kaguya held her stomach and didn't reply. After the emperor was completely wrapped, Kaguya raised her head, as if she had made a decision. This land will be ruled by me, together with my children. Ninja World. It turns out that the infinite moon reading was already performed once at that time. How? Just experience your ideal peace without war in the infinite Tsukuyomi, that shiny thing. I really want to take a bite. It was only here that Kaguya became the ancestor of chakra. I remember Indra said that the six-path sage has always been afraid of Kaguya's power. This means that Kaguya may be the strongest existence in history. Children? Does this sage of six paths have any brothers? At this Timmy a voice sounded on the screen. Mom loves this land deeply, and also tries to love human beings. This voice made Black Zetsu, who was somewhere in the ninja world and still angry about what happened to his mother, feel his scalp tingling. Its dark little face turned pale. What is supposed to come has come. If it is exposed, there will be no hope of rescuing the mother. Divine space. This voice, why does it sound so familiar? Yes, Pure Land. Madara narrowed his eyes. Black Zetsu, this is how the same thing. On screen Kaguya looked at Naruto and Sasuke in front of her, tears streaming down her cheeks. Black Zetsu continued, but her hope was taken away. In order to protect her child, she swallowed the fruit of the sacred tree. However, the mother's real despair story has just begun. Pure Land. Madara frowned and thought, isn't Kurakatsu the incarnation of my will? Why would you call Kaguya Or does Kaguya also have an incarnation of will that looks exactly like Black Zetsu's? He just had similar doubts, not knowing what he was thinking of. He swallowed his saliva and said, or is it that Black Zetsu is the embodiment of my will and also Kaguya's? There has only ever been one Black Zetsu, Masaka. Could it be that Kaguya is really my true self? If that were the case, everything would make sense why in the previous video, Naruto and Sasuke's enemy suddenly changed from him to Kaguya. This relationship is messed up. Shouldn't I be the reincarnation of Indra's ancestor? Izuna's brain was also working at high speed. This black thing that possessed Naruto and Sasuke is the Six-Path Sage's younger brother. Hamura is the Emperor's child. The father and son don't look alike. The corner of Danzo's mouth twitched slightly. The Six-Path Sage and his brother are the beginning of despair. Could it be that these two brothers are more troublesome than the Emperor? On screen, mom gave birth to twins shortly thereafter. That is Hagoromo and Hamura. Two little babies appeared in the picture. Pure Land. Izuna was thoughtful. Hamura looked like a normal human, but he had a pair of horns on his forehead. In other words, he only became like that later. Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan Hayashi looked at his children and explained, Hamura is the ancestor of our Hyuga. Boruto was puzzled. Who is that black object called Kaguya's mother? Placenta. Hayashi shook his head. Not sure. Live broadcast will reveal the truth about these things sooner or later. On screen turn. The brothers Hagoromo and Hamura have grown up. The two were looking at Kaguya's back at this time. Mother looks up at the sky every day. What is she looking at? After hearing what Yumura said, Yui crossed her arms and said, she doesn't want to tell us anything. No one knows what she is thinking. I think there may be something hidden in my mother's heart that even we two sons cannot guess. At this time a young girl ran over. Hagoromo, Hamura, come with me, Yui asked. What's wrong? Yui, screen turn. A strong villager grabbed the collar of another thin villager and said angrily, your fields have taken away all the water. The water can't flow to the fields downstream. The skinny villager was not to be outdone and also grabbed his collar. It's not my fault. Fire Nation, didn't you cast the infinite Tsukuyomi? How stupid. Kaguya said that she and her children would rule this land. Without people, what would she rule? Just the land. I understand now. I thought Kaguya's behavior was a bit contradictory before, but it turns out that only those from the other country and the ancestral country can enter the infinite Tsukuyomi illusion. That black thing that calls Kaguya mom, why do I feel like it looks like the pitcher plant that appeared before? Could it be attached to White Zetsu as well? Divine Space Abito was stunned. Infinite Tsukuyomi, isn't it true that everyone in the world will be affected by Genjutsu? Has it been lifted again? On screen Yui rushed over and pulled the two apart. Stop. What's wrong? The thin villager sat down on the ground. A sturdy man pointed at him and said, what else can we do? This guy took all the water. The skinny villager loudly retorted, my field is upstream. This is normal, Hamura asked, but before that, the water can flow to other fields, right? The thin villager explained, it is like this. The water flow of the river suddenly became smaller. Screen turn. The group walked to the river looking at the river that was almost dried up. Yui asked, did anything happen upstream? The strong man at the side said, we also wanted to go upstream to have a look, but there are giant bears in this mountain, and no one dares to enter at will. Not long ago, an old woman who went into the mountain to pick wild vegetables was seriously injured. Got it, let's go check it out. Hearing Yui's words, the strong man said in surprise, really? That would be a great help. Yuzi said with a worried look on her face, be careful, Yuzi, don't worry. Let's go, Hamura. Hamura nodded in response. Chapter 408, The Talking Frog. Yui stood on a stone, looking at the upper reaches of the river, and asked Hamura, can you see anything? Hold on. Hamura opened his Byakugan. It looks like there is a big rock upstream. Not long the two came to the rock. I see. This stone is blocking the river, Yukin asked in confusion. But where did this stone come from? I didn't see it when I came here before. Did it fall from the sky? Or was it released on purpose? Hamura already had the answer in his mind. Who else could it be? Besides my mother, the only one who can move such a big rock is you, my brother. Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan. Boruto pondered. The Six-Path Sage seems to be unaware of this, so the chakra ancestor should not be so idle. It could also be that black thing. After all, it is the placenta of the ancestor of chakra. Well, it must be extraordinary. It's just moving a big rock. It's not a difficult task. Niji was puzzled. Then why is the placenta moving stones? What is its purpose? Boruto shook his head. I don't know, Hayashi. How come you two are discussing this seriously? Was it Boruto who led Nisi astray, or was it Nisi who led Boruto astray? On screen at this time, a voice sounded. The two looked around, saw nothing. Just when the two were wondering, the voice sounded again. Hey! Don't ignore me. Hagoromo and Hamura turned around at the same time. Then I saw the toad ball on the stone. Yui looked at Hamura with a look of doubt on her face. Hey! Is there something wrong with my brain? As he said that, he pointed at Toad Pill. Why is Frog telling a bad joke, brother? So there is something wrong with my brain too. Somewhere in the ninja world, Jiraiya couldn't help but burst into laughter. I actually saw the humorous side of the Six-Path Sage. If other people haven't seen this, I'll be able to brag about it for the rest of my life. Ninja world, I suspect you two are also telling bad jokes. Key. What's so great about this? I've even seen dogs that can talk. On screen, Toad Pill spoke again. Are your brains okay? I am indeed talking. The two brothers leaned back and looked at the toad in front of them in shock. After saying that, Toad Pill crossed his arms and said, No. You didn't laugh at my joke? There may be something wrong with this. Hamura opened his Byakugan and took a look around the toad. No one is hiding nearby, so it doesn't look like ventriloquism. Gamamaru lowered his arms and looked at Hamura. For a human being, you are too cautious, Yui said to it. You frog are so self-righteous. Gamamaru pointed at Hamura and said, You just don't know. We frogs have lived here for a long, long time. After saying that, it put its hands on its hips and stood there proudly. Hamura looked at Yui happily. Everyone will be happy if we catch this talking frog. Ninja world, I didn't expect Hamura to say that. In my impression, the Sage of Six Paths and his brother should be high and mighty. Even if they have easygoing personalities, they would still feel distant from ordinary people. The little toad's sundeer look is so cute. If you eat it, it will definitely be very nourishing, and it may even increase your chakra. I remember that this toad later had a good relationship with the Sage of Six Paths. On screen, Toad Pill's eyes widened. Stupid. You can't catch me with your ability. Yui bent down and looked at it, laughing. You are just a small frog, but you have such a big mouth. Toad Pill suddenly said, It seems that another guest has arrived. Boom boom, footsteps sounded when the two brothers turned around. They saw a black bear standing up and staring at them fiercely. The black bear growled and walked up to the two brothers. Yui put one hand on her waist. What a big bear, Toad Pill said. Just right. Watch me show off my strength. After saying that, it puffed up its mouth and a stream of water gushed out of it. The water flow hit the black bear and actually sent it flying, breaking a large rock on the way. Looking at the black bear running away, Hamura opened his mouth slightly. Gamamaru said to the two, I placed this rock to attract you. My name is Gamamaru. You two are Hagoromo and Hamura, right? Hamura looked at Hagoromo, being called by name by a frog. Toad Pill turned around and said, You two come with me. Upon hearing this, the two of them followed it and took a step forward. Yui suddenly remembered something looking back at the rock. Oops. Forgot about this. As he spoke, he stretched out his palm and pointed it at the rock, and an electric current surged with a bang. The rock was smashed to pieces. Ninja world, Gamamaru really has a purpose. I have a hunch that its purpose of looking for Hagoromo and Hamura is related to making Kaguya despair. Hiss the power of this technique. If I use it on you, won't my body be numb for a long time? I feel that the Six-Path Sage just wants to tell Gamamaru that he also has extraordinary powers. Gamamaru is right, they are indeed very cautious. As expected, Indra inherited the talent of the Six-Path Sage. But Ashura also inherited the power. On screen, Toad Pill glanced at him. You are quite capable. Screen turned. The figure of Toadmaru, who was on his way, fell on a stone. Yui asked, Why did you bring us here? Toad Pill pointed at the tree not far away and asked, Do you know that one? Certainly. Hamura also said, That is the pass of the end. Toad Pill continued to ask, Have you seen the other side of the ridge? No, I haven't. Mother told us not to go near that ridge. Everyone must follow this rule, and no one has seen the other side of it. Gamamaru said, The true body of the sacred tree is on the other side of the ridge. Yui asked, The true form of the sacred tree. The sacred tree is constantly absorbing the power of the earth. As long as it is there, this land will become weaker and weaker. After hearing what Gamamaru said, Hamura asked, Really? But I heard that it was the power of the sacred tree that nourished this land. Wrong. If you want to know the truth, go to the other side of the ridge. Goodbye. After saying that, Toad Pill kicked his legs, walked a few steps to a puddle and jumped, and Yui murmured in a low voice, The truth. Screen turn outside Kaguya's garden. Is Lady Kaguya really not here? No matter how many times you ask, It's the same. If it's not here, it's not here. After the old lady finished speaking to the man carrying the medicine box, she looked at the two brothers who were walking towards her and bowed slightly, saying, "You two are back?" "Master Ui, Master Hamura," Ui asked. "What's wrong?" The old lady explained, "This fellow keeps pestering me." Hamura looked at the man and asked, "Who are you?" "I am a peddler selling medicine. I want to do business in this area, so I came to seek permission from Lady Kaguya." Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan Rezu was a little surprised and said, "This is a little different from what I thought before. I thought ordinary people would be afraid of this chakra progenitor. I didn't expect that even such a small matter would require her personal approval." Chapter 409 A Lifelong Enemy. Judging from the information obtained from previous screens, the chakra ancestor should become very evil in the future. He knew that people would not change suddenly, and he thought that the chakra ancestor's rule would be that of a high-pressure tyrant, and ordinary people would be very afraid of her. That's why he was surprised when he saw this passage. Boruto nodded, probably because he sympathized with Kaguya's experience, so he said confidently, "This peddler is not afraid of the chakra ancestor, which can explain a lot of things. Kaguya must be a very good monarch." Hayashi glanced at Hinata, who had remained silent, and suddenly sighed. "Boruto, you haven't been restrained since you came here." Hinata, on the other hand, is still the same as usual even though Boruto is here. If Hinata had a personality as cheerful as Boruto, Boruto also looked at Hinata and scratched his head embarrassedly. "After all, I am much older than my mother and have more experience than her, so I am not restrained." Niji's mouth twitched. Rezu's head is full of black lines. There are people older than his uncle, but older than his mother. This is the first time he has seen one in all his years. "I saw it with my own eyes on screen." Ui asked, "Where's your mother?" The old lady explained. "He said he would not come back tonight." "Really? You're going out again? You've been going out quite frequently lately." The peddler covered his head and sighed. "What a headache." Hamura rolled his eyes, walked behind the peddler and opened the medicine box behind him. "Let me take a look at your medicine." As he spoke, he took out some and threw them on the ground. Ninja World, is this a naughty kid? This is a bit too much. She must have discovered something. Could it be that they are selling fake medicine? Otherwise, she wouldn't have rolled her eyes when she opened the medicine box. If it was really fake medicine, I have to say that Kaguya has a very good temper, so much so that there are still people who dare to deceive her now. On screen the peddler said angrily, "How can you destroy other people's goods like this? It's just weeds and moldy fruit." As he spoke, Hamura picked up a mushroom and said, "This is a poisonous mushroom. If you take this medicine, your condition will only get worse." "It seems you are a liar." Ninja World Kaguya's lifelong enemy. Men. Luckily, nothing happened because of Hamura. Otherwise, if such unscrupulous merchants were allowed to sell drugs nearby, Kaguya's reputation would also be affected. Men can lie without blinking an eye, and they only deceive women. What's even more hateful is that they even want to deceive a godlike figure like Kaguya. If it weren't for Hamura, Kaguya might have really agreed to let this peddler sell medicine nearby. After all, Kaguya gives me a silly feeling. On screen the traveling merchant was sweating profusely. Hamura continued, "This village is protected by the power of the mother and brother. No matter what disease it is, it can be cured instantly. No one will buy this kind of thing." The peddler asked, "Is it the power of the sacred tree?" Hearing this, the cynical expression on Hamura's face disappeared. "Stop talking nonsense. If you don't want to suffer, get out of here." After hearing what Hamura said, the peddler fled in a hurry. Screen turned. The peddler crossed his arms, anger still lingering on his face. "Damn it. How dare you look down on me? It hurts. My waist starts to hurt again when I get angry." The traveling merchant, holding his waist, suddenly looked in the direction of the sacred tree. "A sacred tree?" He rubbed his chin. "If I could get a little bit of it back, I might be able to sell it for a high price." He clenched his fists and encouraged himself. "Okay. Take advantage of the situation." At this moment, a voice came into his ears. "I advise you to give up. If you approach the sacred tree carelessly, you will die." The traveling merchant was startled and quickly turned around, looking behind him warily. "Who are you?" Ui stood there with one hand on her waist and said to him, "I'm so sorry for what happened just now. My brother likes to joke around." Ninja World. "What? You still want to apologize to this kind of person? He was trying to deceive your mother. Not beating him up is already a mercy. He dared to take over the sacred tree. There's nothing this kind of liar and profiteer would not do for money. He should not be let off. Otherwise, there will definitely be more victims. I guess Tobirama would like to say at this moment, well, you are even more stupid than my brother. Somewhere in the ninja world Black Zetsu sneered, as expected of the Sage of Six Paths. It's a pity that such gentleness has never been used in the right place. As it spoke, it suddenly became a little depressed, not to mention rescuing its mother. Now it can only hide in a dark corner and wait for the opportunity, not even daring to show up. Hateful. If Yui had been more patient with her mother and understood her difficulties, perhaps all the tragedies would have been changed on screen. Because he turned too suddenly, the traveling merchant covered his lower back with a painful look on his face. What are you doing? Ouch, it hurts. Yui walked up to him and asked, I have something to ask you. Stop talking nonsense. I won't tell you anything. Yui leaned her upper body closer to him and said, if you answer me, I will cure your back disease. As he spoke, a green light appeared on his hand and he touched the peddler's waist. Everyone in the ninja world, it's quite speechless. Azura's stupidity is coming at me. That's quite sweet. Don't do it next time. Wouldn't it be better to just torture him directly? This profiteer is really a scoundrel. He has no respect for the ruler's son at all. On screen, if it's so easy to cure a disease, who wouldn't? Huh? Really? The peddler jumped excitedly. Is it really healed? Can you answer my question now? The peddler agreed. Sure. Just ask. Yui asked, you have been to many places, right? Of course. That's my business. Yui looked in the direction of the sacred tree. Have you seen the other side of that ridge? The peddler replied. I haven't seen it, but I've been to other places. Yui continued to ask, what do people say about my mother in those places? A drop of sweat slid down the peddler's face. It doesn't matter if it doesn't sound good. Fire Nation Muay Village Hyuga Clan, it's not that simple. Boruto blinked. Uncle, you noticed that too. He had previously firmly believed that Kaguya was a good monarch. He wouldn't be slapped in the face, right? No way, right? Well, if there's something nice to say, this peddler can just pick the nice ones and say them. Ninja world, something's wrong. What does this profiteer's expression mean? Only unpleasant comments. I have a feeling that Kaguya's despair is coming. On screen he heard Yui say that the traveling merchant had no choice but to tell everything he knew. It is like this. I heard that many people are against Kaguya-sama's regular offerings to the sacred tree, and rebellions have occurred everywhere. In order to suppress the rebellion, Lady Kaguya killed all the people of that country. Hearing this, Yui was shocked. The peddler continued, recently, people everywhere have heard that Kaguya-sama is a tyrant. Yui whispered softly. Kill them all. No wonder my mother has been out so often recently. Chapter 410. What a pity. Fire Nation Muay Village Hyuga Clan. Boruto's eyes nearly popped out of his head. What? Kill them all? Hayashi was silent. My face hurts. Ninja world, are all the people in that country dead? That's a lot of people. Although, the tragedy that Kaguya experienced was caused by a useless, weak, cold-blooded emperor and a pervert from another country. It is too cruel to kill all the people from the pervert country. Ordinary people are innocent and should not be blamed. This is how you should deal with rebellion. Kill one person to warn the rest. Kill all the people in that country, and the whole world will not dare to start a rebellion easily again. I thought Kaguya would be a wise monarch who loved his people, but this profiteer is so bold that he dares to deceive even a tyrant. He is not afraid that Kaguya will come after him later, no matter what. Kaguya unified the world and brought peace to it. On screen Yui said to the peddler, go, don't come back. This is for your own good. Yes. After answering, the traveling merchant turned around and ran back. Screen turn. Yui was staring at the sacred tree in a daze. Hamura walked behind him, looked at his back and said, there's nothing unusual, brother. Yui finally came to his senses. Oh, it's best if nothing happens. Yukin took 2 steps forward, walked to his side, and whispered, brother, do you mind what the frog said? Yui closed her eyes and denied, no, that's not the case. After saying that, he opened his eyes, and was stunned when he saw the group of people in white clothes below. Hamura said, this is a routine offering to the sacred tree. Yui looked at a certain long-haired figure. No way. He quickly ran downwards. Hamura was startled and shouted, brother, Hori. Yuri in the crowd turned around. Haguramo, Hamura. The 2 brothers ran up to her, and Yui asked, what are you doing? Yes, he explained, I received a notice that it is time to worship the sacred tree. Yui was startled, but He lowered her head and smiled bitterly. There's nothing I can do. This is a rule that Kaguya-sama said a long time ago. Haguramo, Hamura, although it's not been long, I'm very happy to have met you. As she spoke, She took off her necklace and hung it around Yui's neck. Don't forget me. Seeing her turn around, Yui stretched out her hand. Yuzi no longer paid attention to him and trotted quickly to catch up with the crowd. Fire Nation Muai Village Uchiha Clan Land. Little Sasuke pouted, if I were alive and well and suddenly had to worship the sacred tree, I would also resist. Pure Land Tabiram. I pondered, will the people of that country not all offer sacrifices to the sacred tree? Wouldn't it be a waste to kill them all? Ninja World. Will one die if he offers sacrifices to the sacred tree? If so, God knows how desperate people must have been when they received the notice. The worship of the sacred tree should have been abolished during the ninja clan era. This is a sign of progress over the times. What is Kaguya's purpose in doing this? To make herself stronger. It seems that the six-path sage likes Iori, right? Can't he ask Kaguya for mercy? Or persuade him to cancel the offering to the sacred tree? If it can be cancelled, it will be more conducive to Kaguya's rule. Otherwise, more people will surely rebel against her in the future. On screen, the two brothers, Hagoromo and Hamura, knelt at the bottom of the courtyard. Yui said, Mother, please stop the routine offerings to the sacred tree. Standing on the terrace, Kaguya said calmly, No, but, before he could finish, Kaguya interrupted him and said, Even if you are my sons, you are not allowed to disobey me. Yui stood up and looked up at her. Then please tell me, what happens to the people who go to the sacred tree as per custom? Why didn't anyone come back? Kaguya said softly, Routine is necessary before those people come. Those people? Kaguya glanced at the two brothers. You don't need to know this yet. Yui gritted his teeth with an unwilling look on his face, but Kaguya didn't look at him again. Hagoromo, Hamura, I have to go out again. Please look after the house. The two brothers lowered their heads. Yes, somewhere in the ninja world, Kakashi said in a complicated tone. If Ano was still alive, the ancestor might listen to her advice. Parker nodded. That makes sense. Ano and the original are the true love. Kakashi, that's not what I meant, but it is also true. Among humans, only Ano treats the first ancestor sincerely. Even the first ancestor and his two biological sons don't get along as naturally as Ano does. Pity, Gozi sighed. What a pity. If she had brought a loudspeaker, the Emperor would have heard what she was shouting and he might have stopped shooting arrows. Kakashi, why don't the original creator create a world with Ano in it? Kakashi opened his mouth. On screen, Hamura walked up to Hagoromo, who was staring at the sacred tree in a daze. Brother, could it be that, I want to climb that ridge? Yukin said with a serious expression. If your mother knew about this, she would not let you off easily. Yui closed her eyes. Of course I understand, brother. I will go too. Screen turn. The two came to the sacred tree. What's this? Hamura opened his eyes and looked over, startled. It's so crowded, I don't know how many people are packed here, brother. After shouting, he ran towards the sacred tree. Hamura, Yui quickly followed. When he ran deeper, Hamura stopped at a row of people wrapped like mummies. He took a look, took out a dagger and cut one of them open. Yui arrived shortly afterwards. What's wrong, brother? Open this cocoon. Yui used ninjutsu, and a gust of wind cut open the cocoon. On the mummy, Iori's face appeared in front of the two of them. Hori, Yui stepped forward and held up her head. Hamura closed his eyes. Hori, wake up. Hori, brother, it's useless. He's already dead. Outside the sacred tree there was the sound of Yui's collapse and crying. Myaoma Mountain. The great toad sage was silent for a moment, then slowly said, if Kaguya had been more patient and explained to Hagoromo why she had to do this, perhaps Hagoromo and Hamura would not have become the despair in her story. But if that happens, it will be this world that is in despair and pain. All this seems to be arranged by fate. Fire Nation. The girl I love died in the sacrifice her mother asked for. How cruel it was for the sage of six paths. God is God. He only has divinity and no humanity. This is normal. I have probably guessed the ending. It was the six-path sage and his brother who led the rebellion against the chakra ancestor. On screen, under the sacred tree. This is the truth of the sacred tree's custom. Thinking of this, Iori, who was holding Iori's body, suddenly opened his eyes, and the three Magatama Sharingan appeared in his eyes. Brother, your eyes. Chapter 411. Stinky Toad. Ninja World. Has opening his eyes, he sees three Magatama. As expected of the sage of six paths, Hagoromo, you're a little too extreme. It can be seen that the six-path sage really likes Iori. After seeing the girl he loved die, the sage of six paths opened his Byakugan to three Magatama, and later also opened his Samsara eye. On screen, the two brothers walked to the creek. Come out. Toad Pilgrim Hammer jumped out of the water, looked at the three Magatama Sharingan in Hagoromo's eyes, and said, "It seems that you really went to the other side of the ridge." The two nodded in silence. Toadpale narrowed his eyes and said to the two, "Follow me." After saying that, it jumped into the river. The two brothers followed closely behind. Screen turn. Two men and a toad emerged from the river. "Where is this place?" Toadpale explained. "This is the kingdom of toads." After landing following Gamamaru's feather robe, he looked around. Yui whispered, "I feel an incredible power." Gamamaru turned around and looked at him. "Oh? It's really not simple. As a human, you can actually feel the power here. This place is full of a natural force called immortal power, so just use this power." As he said this, Gamamaru easily lifted a huge toad rock. "I can do this too." Toadpale casually put the rock down, making a loud bang sound. "Follow me." The two follow Toadpale to a stone chair with the word Xian printed on it. There is also a crystal ball on the stone chair. "This stone is called the memory stone," Hamura asked in confusion. "Memory stone," Toadpale said. "This stone records everything that happened on the earth. Come and see what happened in the past." As it spoke, the scene of the year appeared on the crystal ball. A meteorite fell from the sky, and a big tree grew on the ground. A long time ago, that tree fell from the sky. Soon after, your mother, Kaguya, also came here. After Kaguya came to the world, she fell in love with a king of this land and gave birth to you. However, Kaguya's fate was controlled by humans, and she became the enemy of humans. Hyuga obtained the power of the sacred tree and turned your father and the people into offerings for the sacred tree. Only some humans had their memories erased and were released back to avoid human extinction. Only Kaguya knows the truth. After hearing Gamamaru's explanation, Yui asked, "Where did my mother come from? Why did she want to protect the sacred tree?" Toadpale said, "I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with her falling from the sky. The only thing that is clear is that since the sacred tree took root, the natural energy of the earth has obviously decreased." Fire Nation, I understand. If this sacred tree hadn't come, many people in our world would have practiced immortal arts like Naruto and Master Jiraiya. In that case, the ninja's strength will undoubtedly be even stronger. Natural energy might be monopolized by the three holy places. If someone wants to become a ninja, they can only practice taijutsu like Mr. Kai, and they won't even have chakra. You never know. What if there is a holy place excavated by humans themselves? In that case, the ninja world should be called something else. Since they all practice fairy arts, it should be called the fairy world. A ninja cruelly broke their illusion. You think too much? There is no sacred tree in the later ninja world. Aren't there still very few people who cultivate natural abilities? Although natural energy is powerful, it has always been very rare. Ordinary people don't have the opportunity to practice it. Chakra and ninjutsu are better and more practical, but an outsider uses the people and local power of our world to support this sacred tree that is also from outside. Don't say that. Aren't we ninjas also beneficiaries of chakra? In fact, we should thank the outsiders for bringing chakra to the ninja world, and thank the six-path sage for imparting chakra to people. On screen Yui frowned. How could this happen? Gamamaru continued, not only the earth, but also humans. As long as that big tree exists, the earth will eventually wither, and we will also face the same fate. Hearing this, Yui looked at the necklace in her palm, her hands trembling slightly. It is necessary to have a talk with my mother. Hamura turned his head to look at him, but mother doesn't pay any attention to us. Gamamaru crossed his arms and said to Yui, "Yui, your mother's power is extremely strong. I don't think she would be patient enough to communicate with you. Even if you are her son." Yui was silent. He obviously knew his mother well. After a moment, he asked, "Toadpale, can you teach me how to use the immortal power?" Yukon frowned. "Brother, are you going to go against mother?" Yui said softly. "Just in case." Gamamaru said, "I understand. If you, who inherited Kaguya's power, learn to use your immortal power, you may be able to fight against her." However, Yui asked, "What? Teaching you how to use your magical powers is a dangerous gamble. Why?" Toadpale lowered his head and said, "Can you guarantee that after you master the immortal power, you will not become like your mother?" Yui put her face in front of it. "Gamamaru, it has come to this, and you are afraid." Toadpale was so scared that he shrank his head back. "What did you say? Your words are inconsistent. Why did you wait for us to arrive? You clearly anticipated from the beginning that we would go against mother. You are quite perceptive as a human being." "Yes, I received a revelation." Hearing what Gamamaru said, Yui asked in confusion, "Revelation? It was a dream." Toad rarely dreams, and that dream was close to prophecy. "I dreamed that you and Kaguya were fighting." Hearing this, the two brothers looked at each other. Hamura asked, "What was the result?" Ue said. It probably didn't see that much. If it did, it wouldn't be scared. Toadpill was shocked. He actually saw through Frog's mind. This person is incredible, Moon Kaguya said in a gloomy tone. So it was you, a stinky toad, who did this. Ninja World. A toad that can predict the future is also amazing. From Gamamaru's perspective, it's not surprising that he's afraid that Haguramo will also become a tyrant in the future. In that case, why don't you two stay together? You can be the one next to the frog, knowing each other well. This will give it a sense of security. In other words, the six-path sage who learned the Senjutsu defeated the chakra ancestor? This is impossible, right? Naruto, who mastered the Senjutsu, is not that strong, right? On screen Yui sat cross-legged on the ground, refining the fairy chakra. The toadpill in front of him said, don't think about anything. Feel the natural energy and absorb it into your body. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 412 Doubt. After an unknown amount of time, countless natural energies poured into Yui's body. Toadpill was a little surprised to see this scene. I never thought that Yui could master immortal power in the blink of an eye. Screen turn. Hamura came to the field and looked at the people who were farming. A smile appeared on his face suddenly. He was startled and turned around to see Kaguya. Mother, you are back. Where did Yui go? Hamura knelt on one knee on the ground. My brother is still patrolling the village. Ninja World. This Hamura is going to be finished. Humph. Men are really good at lying. They don't even blink an eye. How pathetic. Even his own son has begun to deceive himself. Kaguya's gaze makes me feel scared even through the screen, as if she can see through people's hearts. It's full of oppression, as if I have done something wrong to her and she has discovered it. Is it easy to learn fairy arts? Did the Sage of Six Paths master fairy arts during the time Kaguya was away? On screen Kaguya stared at him. Hamura, don't try to hide anything from me. After saying that, she opened her Byakugan and directed her pressure directly at Hamura. Hamura also opened his Byakugan, but it was of no use. Don't try to fight back with your eye rolls. My eye rolls are far superior to yours. Screen turn. You don't know how much time has passed. Yui is also becoming more mature. The natural power in his body overflowed, and a current struck the rock on the opposite side, easily shattering it. Toadpill opened his mouth. Somewhat shocked, Yui said, it seems that I have mastered the power of immortality. Maybe we can fight against Kaguya now. As soon as Toadpill finished speaking, he couldn't help but be stunned for a moment. It looked forward at the little blue toad that was jumping towards it. Contact Toad. The blue toad jumped in front of it. Quack quack quack. What did you say? Yui asked. What's wrong? Gamamaru explained. I heard that Kaguya returned to the village, and it can't contact Hamura. So, Toadpill nodded and said, yes. Let's assume that our intentions have been discovered by her, Yui said seriously. The time for the duel has come. Ninja World, it's coming. The Six-Path Sage versus the Chakra Ancestor. Exciting, except for the content like a Bido's 2 minutes that was not shown. The live broadcast has never disappointed me. It's quite conflicting. On the one hand, I admire the Sage of Six Paths, but on the other hand, I feel sorry for the fate of the Chakra progenitor. To the Ninja World, the Sage of Six Paths deserves respect. But to Kaguya, these two kids are rebellious. On screen turn. Yui and Gamamaru, who left the toad's nest, happened to see the villagers leaving the place with large and small bags on their backs. It seems that they all want to move away from here. Two villagers even bowed in his direction, then silently followed the crowd away. Yui said softly, I'm sorry, everyone. Gamamaru turned his head and wanted to look at the courtyard below. But, if we want to save this land, there's only one way. Not long after, a man and a toad came to the front of the courtyard. Let's stop here. It's dangerous to go any further, so you should find a place to hide. Gamamaru hummed, since you want to fight Kaguya, I can't imagine what scale of battle it will be. After saying that, it took out a piece of paper from its mouth and handed it over. Brother, here is this for you. Yui bent down to take it, took a look at it, and asked, what kind of talisman is this? Can you feel the powerful force on it? This is a treasure passed down from the Toad Kingdom. Although it has never been passed on to others, this battle is related to the future of the Toad Kingdom. After all, this talisman is full of immortal power. It was made by our ancestors with great effort. Use it when your immortal power is running out. Although it is a one-time effect, It can restore a person from a near-death state. Yue put away the talisman paper. Thank you very much, I wish you peace, brother. After watching it hop away, Yue also walked up the stairs. The wooden steps creaked as he stepped on them. Soon, he saw Kaguya sitting right in front of him. Mother, Kaguya said calmly, Haguramo, you broke the rules and went to that mountain, right? I can't hide it. I can read your mind, Yue asked. Then you should also know why I am angry with you, mother. Kaguya's lips curled up. You love that girl, right? Yue looked serious. Not just her, but everyone on this land. This is my love. Mother, as for what my mother had done, I also know it. Why do you want to do such a terrible thing? Kaguya slowly spoke. You don't understand how terrifying they are. For this, I need an army. Is that the army? Mother? Who are you? Where are you from? I came from the distant sky, from a long way away. That place is beyond your reach. One day, those who will welcome me will come here. For them, love does not work, and they can only speak with strength. As he said this, 3 dark figures appeared on the screen. Pure Land. Madara's thoughts are very confused now. It's not that I'm still doubting whether Kaguya is my true self, but suspect Black Zetsu. It's not like there haven't been similar suspicions before. After all, he's not Kenji, the reincarnation of Ashura. It's just that he didn't want to, and even didn't dare to think too much about it, even though the live broadcast has revealed many clues. But now, as his understanding of the Six Paths Sage deepened, he could not help but think about it in the ninja world. There is probably no one who values infinite Tsukuyomi more than him in Naruto. The concept of the Six Paths Sage is completely contrary to the infinite Tsukuyomi. If that was the case, how could he leave such content on the stone tablet? If Black Zetsu really lied to him, that's all he did is ideal all along. So what? At this moment, his only hope was that the live broadcast did not put the facts in front of him, proving that his suspicions were just suspicions and that he had misunderstood the incarnation of his will. Ninja world. These 3 figures should be the crisis after Madara and Kaguya. If possible, I really want to escape to the infinite Tsukuyomi world. It never ends. There is no peace in this ninja world. Just think about how terrifying this guy is that Kaguya fears. Anyway, there are powerful guys like Naruto and Sasuke leading the way. A small person like me can't do anything except cheering for them and supporting them. Fire Nation. The Chakra Ancestor knows everything, but she just disdains the love of the Six Paths Sage. Now she only believes in power. Explaining this to the Six Paths Sage proves that the first ancestor still values him very much. The best solution, I think, is to threaten the first ancestor with death. Using one's own life to force the first ancestor to stop offering sacrifices to the sacred tree may be successful. If successful, then we can have the best of both worlds. I'm afraid that the first ancestor will control the Six Paths Sage and make him unable to even commit suicide. Chapter 413, Canon number 039, Watch this. Muai Village. Hyuga clan. Boruto couldn't be more familiar with these 3 figures. Hayashi looked serious. Are they the same people as Kaguya? In the future, have they come to the ninja world? Boruto looked at the diamond-shaped mark on his palm, a little absent-minded. Yes. In the future, they came to the ninja world. The live broadcast will expose them sooner or later. He participated in the defeat of these 3 Otsutsuki. Hayashi looked at Boruto and opened his mouth, but in the end he didn't ask. Boruto seemed reluctant to mention this. I don't know what this child has experienced with these 3 people. On screen Yue argued, that shouldn't be the case. Mother, you clearly believed in love, and that's why we were born, Kaguya retorted. However, that feeling was also betrayed. In her mind, she recalled the scene where Ano died for her. And now, you who I risked my life to give power to, also want to betray me. Yue advised earnestly, Mother, believe in the power of love once again and stop the routine offerings to the sacred tree. Kaguya stood up and said firmly, No. Yue also emphasized, Mother, I protected you and raised you to adulthood, but it seems that all my efforts were in vain. In the end, you can't understand each other. At this point, her tone became eerie. Then Yue, give me back your power. As soon as she finished speaking, Hamura opened his Byakugan and appeared from behind Kaguya and punched Haguramo. Yue dodged quickly Hamura. Yue dodged Hamura's attack and asked, Mother, what did you do to Hamura? Kaguya said to him, Haguramo, if the love you are talking about really exists, then you can't win against Hamura. Wake up. Hamura. I am not your enemy. As he said this, Haguramo easily knocked Hamura down. Hamura stood up and continued to attack Hamura. Although there was no pattern, The power was extremely great. Togedemaru popped his head out from the roof and looked at this scene. A drop of sweat slid down his face. Has Hamura been taken hostage? There was even more sweat on Yui's face. If I just keep getting beaten up, even if Yui is very powerful, there's nothing I can do. Thinking of this, Yui dodged Hamura's attack again, and lightning flashed on her hands. Toad Pale looked nervous. What does he want to do? Could it be that it really had the wrong person? Just as Hamura rushed towards Yui. Forgive me, Hamura. As he said this, he grabbed Hamura's attacking fist, and his right hand, which was shining with lightning, pierced Hamura's heart. Pure Land Hashirama took a deep breath. Those who have younger brothers cannot bear to see this. He was just controlled. How could you kill your own brother? Knocking him out would be fine. Madara frowned. This choice is a bit too extreme. As soon as he finished speaking, he thought of something. No, that talisman paper. On screen a tear flowed from the corner of Yui's eyes. With his heart pierced, Hamura was completely free from control. He vomited blood and spoke weakly. Brother, at this moment, Haguramo's 3 Magatama Sharingan directly evolved into the Rinnegan Eye. Yui put Hamura on the ground and said to him, you were just controlled by your mother. I was careless. Don't talk. I will treat you right now. As he spoke, Yui took out a talisman from his bosom and stuck it on Hamura's forehead. Fire Nation Muai Village Uchiha Clan Land. Little Sasuke gasped. Those who have older brothers cannot bear to see this. Ninja World 3 Magatama to open the Samsara Eye directly. Did I miss the main Gekyo and Eternal Eye in the middle? The Sage of Six Paths is the ancestor of the Uchiha and Senju clans, so there is nothing wrong with opening the Samsara Eye directly. If it weren't for the live broadcast, I would have thought that the Sage of Six Paths was just a legend. Even if he was born with the Rinnegan, it wouldn't be surprising. This talisman paper that can restore immortal power and vitality has been used in a variety of ways by the Six Paths Sage. It maximizes the benefits. The talisman paper was directly exchanged for a pair of Samsara Eyes. It is indeed a treasure of the Toad Kingdom, so this is how the Six Paths Sage's Samsara Eye is opened. He has to be the child of the original Chakra ancestor, otherwise how could he open the Samsara Eye from 3 Magatama in one go? Near Water Country Itachi fell into deep thought. How is this talisman paper made? If it is possible, he wanted to get a life-saving card for Sasuke. After all, there will be many crises in the ninja world in the future. On screen, Togedemaru's expression on the roof relaxed a little. It didn't misjudge the person, otherwise, not only Gama Country but the entire ninja world will suffer. I didn't expect that you would use the Toad's treasure like this. Hamura opened his eyes, sat up and looked at his body. The wound has healed? What did you do, brother? If you can survive, thank you, Mamoru. At this moment, Kaguya's figure floated into the air, and she opened her Byakugan and looked at the two brothers. Haguramo, Hamura. As she spoke, the Rinnegan on her forehead, which had been tightly closed, opened. Mother, 6 staffs appeared in Yui's hands. Thank you for letting me open the main Gekyo Sharingan and the Samsara Eye. After he said this, the ground shook. What? Ninja world, my palms are sweating. This battle may be the largest ever. Kaguya is going to educate her son herself. In the end, Kaguya was defeated. Although I don't know how the chakra progenitor was defeated. On screen, brother. Look over there. Hamura pointed in the direction of the sacred tree. Yui looked over. The sacred tree changed and its vines turned into claws. What happened? Feeling a huge force, on the other side of the ridge, the 10 tails raised its head and pressed its claws against the top of the mountain. Haguramo and Hamura opened their mouths slightly, looking shocked. At this moment, Black Zetsu's voice was heard on the screen. In this way, the battle between Yui and Hamura and their mother Kaguya began. However, the real battle has just begun. Mom has the power of the sacred tree, and the sacred tree turned into the 10 tails to protect her. The true form of the 10 tails is not only the sacred tree, but also the mother herself. It is not the incarnation of the sacred tree that wants to take back the chakra fruit, but it is intended to take back the chakra that was dispersed to the two children, the mother's consciousness. On screen, the 10 tails condensed the tail beast ball in its mouth and sprayed it towards the blue Susanoo of the same size. On the opposite side, the blue Susanoo uses the samurai sword in its hand to block the tail beast ball. The fierce battle between Mom and Haguramo Hamura lasted for several months, and this battle brought great disaster to the world. Finally, the decisive moment has arrived. Haguramo and Hamura's power surpasses their mother's. Chapter 414, 6 Madara vs 6 Naruto and Sasuke. In the picture, Haguramo and Hamura placed their hands on Kaguya. Now, brother, Earth Explosion Star. As Yui finished her words, countless pieces of rubble rose from the ground and attached to Kaguya's body. The huge suction force trapped her tightly. A ball of black liquid slid down Kaguya's sleeve. The dark figure looked at the sealed Kaguya and clenched his teeth. My mother squeezed out her last bit of strength and gave birth to me before she was sealed. Ninja world, that black liquid, it says that the six-path sage and his brother's strength surpassed the original ancestor? Also, I don't know what it has done in the past 1,000 years. Since it was produced by the original ancestor, it must be very powerful. Compared to the six-path sage, who learned the celestial arts and opened his eyes, his strength surpassed that of the original ancestor. I still think that Naruto and Sasuke's experiences are more legendary. Although the six-path sage is very powerful, how could the chakra ancestor be surpassed in strength? It should be that she didn't use her true strength. The battle was so fast that I couldn't see anything. I only knew it was a battle to destroy the heavens and the earth. It's hard to say whether the ancestor wanted to kill his son who betrayed him. Alice. Kaguya was once kind. She is such a pitiful and pathetic woman. There is a detail. The original ancestor did not approve of the love of the six-path sage, but she could still remember Ino, which proves that she has not yet abandoned human emotions. If the six-path sage was replaced by Naruto, maybe Kaguya would be convinced. Given Naruto's personality, he will definitely not give up trying to persuade his mother. After all, Naruto is the only one who didn't make a choice, and he has always wanted both the ninja realm and Sasuke. Pure Land. Madara was silent. He tried to convince himself. The original Black Zetsu was born, and my Black Zetsu is an incarnation. They are different, right? That is it. He is not a ridiculous guy who has been used and deceived all the time. On screen, Six Paths Madara versus Six Paths Naruto and Sasuke. Ninja World. The complete battle is finally here. Maybe it's not as earth-shattering as the battle between the Sage of Six Paths and the first Chakra Ancestor, but this is definitely the most exciting battle. I've seen this scene before. Madara has the upper hand. Madara was already so strong before he became the Six Paths. Now that he has become the Six Paths, his strength may be second only to the Sage of Six Paths, or even not weaker than the Sage of Six Paths. On screen, Six Paths Madara looked at Kai, who had turned into charcoal not far away. I'm here to kill you. As soon as he finished speaking, the Dao-seeking jade behind him shot out. Just when it was about to hit Kai, Naruto suddenly appeared in front of Kai and kicked the Tado Jayu back. Dao Madara quickly ducked to avoid the flying truth-seeking jade. Boom! The Tao-seeking jade exploded behind him. Was Qiu Li kicked away? Naruto's figure flashed and disappeared from the spot. The truth-seeking ball behind Six Paths Madara turned into a tin staff and held it horizontally in front of him, blocking Naruto's punch, but his body still hit the rock behind him. Rocks cracked and debris fell. Six Paths Madara was confused, and the seeking Dao Jade is the same. He clearly touched it, so why is he still safe and sound? Because I haven't fully recovered yet. Wrong. He looked at Naruto in front of him. This guy's power suddenly increased. Naruto clenched his fists. Son, lend me your chakra. It is good. The four-tailed Monkey King responded. Naruto raised his right hand, and a Rasenshuriken infused with molten escape condensed in his hand. The molten release Rasenshuriken quickly grew larger. Immortal technique, molten release Rasenshuriken. Seeing this, Six Paths Madara leaped up and quickly jumped away. He turned around and looked at Naruto, who was chasing after him, holding the Rasenshuriken. Good. The power of the Rinnegan in his eyes was activated. Will grave. The next moment, Naruto's body moved to the side. What? You actually escaped the wheel grave. After dodging the Rinnegan, Naruto threw the Rinnegan in his hand at Six Paths Madara. See, after a successful hit. Okay. Explode. The lava release Rasenshuriken grew bigger and bigger, constantly cutting the divine tree and Six Paths Madara's body until the sacred tree was completely cut in half. Six Paths Madara's figure slammed heavily into the tree trunk, and a big cut was made on his stomach. Pure Land. Tobirama couldn't help but laugh. Well done. You showed your power as soon as you appeared on the stage. After saying this, he looked a little strange. Is it true that, as I guessed before, Madara only returned those few blows? Hoshirama was filled with emotion. The back waves of the Yangtze River pushed the front waves. Madara, who possesses the Rinnegan, is much stronger than him. After Madara became the Sage of Six Paths, even he couldn't participate in a battle of that level. Even though I've seen Naruto and Sasuke fight, I'm still surprised at Naruto's strength. Maybe it's because of the previous comparison with Madara that I can more intuitively feel how powerful Naruto is. Izuna clenched her fists nervously. Brother won't be defeated so easily. Once Big Brother gets familiar with Naruto and Sasuke's new abilities, he'll have the upper hand. Yeah, that's right. Battle intelligence of the same level is the most important. Ninja World. In fact, Naruto is the first person under the ancestor of chakra and the sage of six paths, right? Just a face-to-face encounter left Madara at a disadvantage. Could Naruto defeat Madara alone? Come on. Madara. For the infinite Tsukuyomi. Defeat our savior. You are justice, damn it. Evil savior. How could you be so harsh to Madara-sama? He wants to create a beautiful world. Don't you want to? How could you not want to create a beautiful world when you can't bear to leave the limited Tsukuyomi world, kill Madara in one fell swoop? How can the future of the ninja world be entrusted to a false world of illusion? Country of Earth Iwagakure Tsuchikage building. Naruto's figure was reflected in Deidara's pupils. You are the art itself. Inoki slapped him on the forehead. Look at them. And then look at you. You can only destroy buildings. I feel your art is low level. If you can grow to 1/10 of Naruto's strength, I will definitely retire early and make way for you. Deidara raised his head again and pouted. Give me your seat? You wishful thinking, old man. Inoki's face darkened. Why doesn't this traitor fall for the provocation? What? Do you also admit that your art is low level? Deidara nodded seriously. Yes. You are right, old man. Blowing up buildings is indeed very low level. If you want to blow something up, you should blow up something like the Sage of Six Paths. Only in this way can you catch up with Naruto's art. I've decided. Old man. I'm going to work hard to develop my art and be on par with Naruto. When the crisis of the future ninja world comes, I'm going to put bombs into the mouths of those three guys that Kaguya is afraid of. Inoki's brows jumped violently. This brat's thoughts are becoming more and more dangerous. Chapter 415 Vortex Magnet. Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan. Boruto's eyes were full of little stars before. Madara's strength suppressed the ninja world, but now his father was fighting Madara alone and had the upper hand, as expected of my dad. His handsomeness at this moment is second only to Uncle Sasuke. Ningxi was speechless. Sasuke is indeed a whirlpool magnet, not even as good as my own father Rain Country. What the hell? Did they cut the sacred tree directly? That's a sacred tree. After the shock, Biwajuzang silently raised his thumbs. You are the best. You get more rubs. On screen a shadow enveloped Reclusive. Reclusive seemed to sense something. He opened his eyes and looked at the sacred tree that was cut open and slowly fell towards him. There seemed to be a voice in his mind. Absorb me into it. Liudeo Madara was Staneto, is it? Absorb the sacred tree. Absorb the 10 tails. Absorb everything. Six paths. Madara looked at the sacred tree and shocked. That sound seemed to come from it. Hearing the voice again, six paths. Madara no longer hesitated. He flew to the front of the sacred tree and put his hands on the tree. The huge sacred tree poured into his body, and Madara frowned tightly without making a sound. After absorbing the sacred tree, the wound on six paths Madara's stomach healed. So that's how it is, the sacred tree itself. Hey, ha. On his forehead, the Rinnegan seemed to have penetrated a periosteum. It's time to bring everything together. The other side. Naruto picked up the kunai on the ground, held it in his mouth, and looked at the six paths Madara in the air. Maybe it's because I saw the great-grandfather and got some power. I can clearly feel half of the great-grandfather's power from here. Six paths. Madara said to Naruto below. You alone cannot defeat me. I have obtained complete immortality, which means eternity. Naruto tied the forward protector tightly behind his head. Idiot. I don't mean to defeat you. Naruto loosened his grip and two black rods appeared in his hands with a swish. Sasuke appeared beside him. But we will work together. Sasuke said the second half of the sentence. I will knock you down. Madara. Six paths. Madara looked down at the two of them. Own party obtained the six paths immortal technique. Has the other party opened the samsara eye? However, I have both of these powers. He made the way seal with his hands. This is the final battle. My power or your power, which one is stronger? Let's see who is stronger. Fire Nation. He absorbed the entire sacred tree into his body. Even if Madara is still a little inferior to the ancestor of chakra, the difference is not that big, right? Is this Madara's heyday? Even Madara, who was kicked by Mr. Kai before, did not absorb the sacred tree. Currently Madara only has one Rinnegan. I guess he will only be in his prime when he gathers all the eyes. Even if Madara becomes the Sage of Six Paths, his strength still has a lot of room for improvement. If the fight continues, it's hard to say who is stronger and who is weaker. If I were replaced by Naruto or Sasuke, after seeing how powerful Madara is, even if they had the strength to fight against him, they would not have the courage to fight against him. On screen immortal technique, Yin Dun Lei Pai. Sasuke opened his eyes and used his ability. Naruto beside him threw the black stick in his hand to block the lightning. Looking at Sasuke who appeared on the other side, six paths. Madara was stunned. Sasuke, at this distance, Teleport? No. Not moving. Sasuke put his hands over his eyes. This left eye. I see. Before Six Paths Madara could think more, Naruto, holding the black stick, hit him. Don't look around. Liudeo Madara's eyes darkened while the black stick in Naruto's hand was blocked by an invisible object. Sasuke was stunned. What is that? Naruto pushed his hands down harder. It's not over yet. Six Paths Madara seemed to have sensed his thoughts and took action one step ahead. Immortal technique. Storm release light fang. Naruto jerked his body to avoid the chakra ray, but the black stick in his hand was cut. Naruto seemed to sense something. Here we go again. Sasuke threw his Kusanagi sword out. Over there, ding, missed. The invisible thing knocked Naruto away with one blow. After landing, Naruto looked at Sasuke. Sasuke, go to your side. There is something running around that I can't see. Really? I can see it clearly. This is another Madara. These two guys really saw through my wheel tomb. Madara. Six Paths looked at Sasuke and said, now that you have the Samsara eye, can you finally see it? And Naruto, you can't see it, but you can sense it. It stands to reason that it is impossible to perceive or observe from this world. Me who is in the invisible world of the Chakra Sambhava. How did they suddenly gain such great power? Uchiha Sasuke. He is the only one who has opened the Naruto Sharingan like me. Perhaps there is a relationship between Sasuke and me other than blood. Thinking of this, Six Paths Madara rushed towards Sasuke. Then, his left eye must be the most suitable eye for me. Just as he was about to get close to Sasuke, hey, his pupils suddenly trembled. A Kusanagi sword pierced his chest and Sasuke in front of him had already disappeared. This counterattack was so beautiful that I wonder how many girls screamed from it. Sasuke is so handsome. Husband, hubby, please be gentle, you're hurting my ex-boyfriend. Fire Nation Muai Village Hokage building. Fugaku's face was filled with pride. He thought silently in his heart, you are indeed my son. Hyuga clan. Boruto scratched his head. I always feel that the reincarnated Madara is more oppressive than the current Madara. Hayashi shook his head and said, it depends on who your opponent is. Before, Madara was only facing a group of ordinary ninjas. The stronger ones were the 5 Kage. Now he is facing the grown-up Naruto and Sasuke. On screen Liudeo Madara landed on the ground with his feet and turned around. Is that the ability of your left eye? Sasuke walked out from behind Naruto. The same goes for Shadow Madara. The Six Paths Sage's chakra attack worked. Sasuke looked at the wound on Madara's arm that had not yet healed. The wound on his right arm was caused by defending against Naruto's attack at the beginning. At this time, he observed that Madara's chakra had returned to his body, and he said, it seems that your shadow will return to your body after a period of time. Then, Sasuke said to Naruto beside him, Naruto, wait until that guy's shadow appears again. You go deal with him, and I will deal with the one who can be seen. But, Naruto said unhappily, I get annoyed when I receive orders from you. This habit of mine hasn't changed. Chapter 416 Madara and number 039, S weakness. Listen to me. Listen carefully, now is a good opportunity. I guess that guy and his shadow will temporarily overlap. Use the power of the immortal to prepare for the next move. Any move will do, as long as it can block his movement, Shukaku inside Naruto said. Then use my chakra to perform the sealing technique. Naruto looked grateful. Thank you. Shukaku was furious. My name is Shukaku, Ninja World, as expected of you. Uzumaki Kenji. You can make me laugh no matter what the situation is. Shukaku is really cute. At this time, Shukaku is willing to take the initiative to help. It seems that all 9-tailed beasts have recognized Naruto. That's because it's Naruto. It would be impossible for any other ninja to do that. On screen, Six Paths Madara pulled out the Kusanagi sword from his chest, and the wound healed in an instant. Have you thought about the duration of the wheel tomb, its activation interval, and its response method? I see. You are very perceptive. You have the ability to analyze and judge calmly, and you have activated your intuition like me. If he was born before Obito, I could have him. No. It doesn't matter now. No matter what, I must remember that these two people in front of me are not ordinary kids. It is better to gather both eyes as soon as possible. Naruto condensed the Rasengan in his hand. Immortal method, magnetic escape spiral pill. A black Chidori also appeared in Sasuke's hand. I also have the power of the 6 paths. Chidori, Naruto. Use this move to attack me. It will definitely work, although I am a little annoyed. Your words are beyond doubt. As he spoke, Naruto threw the magnetic Rasengan in his hand towards Sasuke the Chidori, and Sasuke's hand also attacked Naruto. The next moment, Six Paths Madara suddenly appeared between the two and was hit by Chidori and Rasengan. How did I end up here? Sasuke said to Naruto. Naruto. Use the move taught by the Sage of Six Paths. You understand? Understood. I'll be right there. As soon as Naruto finished speaking, Six Paths Madara flew away. What? Moved? Did you use the shadow as a stand-in? Naruto looked in the direction of Six Paths Madara. Over there. Sasuke, I'll hold this guy still, you go chase after the real one. In mid-air, the Six Path Madara flying in front glanced at Sasuke. At this distance, the ability of the Samsara Eye seems to be useless. I'm beginning to understand the capabilities of your left eye. Sasuke. Naruto urged anxiously. Hurry up. Sasuke. Madara is going to Kakashi-sensei's place. Before Kakashi could react, Six Paths Madara gouged out his left eye. The moment he passed by him, Six Paths Madara pressed the Kamui Mangekyou into his eye sockets. Ninja World is the Uchiha's Sharingan light bulb. Plug and play. Even the current Madara didn't get any good things from Naruto and Sasuke. It's over. Madara is going to collect all the Rinnegan. If I remember correctly, the final ending was that Madara released the infinite Tsukuyomi, but for some reason, Kaguya took over Madara's body, and then Naruto and Sasuke defeated Kaguya and lifted the infinite Tsukuyomi. Alice. Madara has spent his entire life, even until his death, trying to realize his ideals, but this path leads to being an enemy of the world. In these years, he must have been very lonely, right? This is also his biggest weakness. At this moment, as long as Naruto can create an opportunity, seize this weakness of his, and give him a kiss, when he is stunned by the warm touch on his lips, it will be the best chance to seal him. On screen in the divine space, Sakura, with shaking hands, aimed the kunai at Obito's eyes. Hurry up and destroy the Samsara Eye. I can no longer suppress Black Zetsu. Sakura's hand, holding the kunai, was shaking even more violently. External biture really fast. Sasuke, SHH. Sasuke directly cut the body of Six Paths Madara in half. Divine power. Six Paths Madara used his Mangekyou Eye technique. The space twisted, and his upper body disappeared. Sasuke gritted his teeth. Only the upper body was transferred. In the divine space, Obito is still fighting against Black Zetsu. Hurry up. I see. Just as Sakura was about to stab, the upper body of Six Paths Madara suddenly appeared and swung the black stick in his hand towards Sakura. Obito reacted quickly and used his eye technique to divert Sakura away from being hit by the black stick. Six Paths Madara looked at Obito in front of him and said, I still need something to fulfill my wish. Please give me back your left eye. Ninja World. Hey, Obito, you can't move now, right? Sakura is really. If she had destroyed the Rinnegan earlier, there wouldn't be so many things happening later. Once Madara gets the other eye from Obito, Naruto and Sasuke may not be his match. By the way, this black thing that's controlling Obito is that guy, right? On screen, external Naruto's shadow clone and real body used black sticks to fix the shadow of Six Paths Madara's Rinnegan. That's all. It can't move now. I'll leave this to you. Oh. Leave it to me. As he said that, Naruto jumped up and came to the three members of Team 7. Sasuke asked, how is that guy's shadow? I used my shadow clone and Leodeo's stick to trap it tightly. After that, he looked at Sakura, who was treating Kakashi. Sakura, can you please move aside for a moment? Sakura stood up and asked, what do you want to do, Naruto? You will know after you read it. Naruto reached out and pressed his hand over Kakashi's eye sockets. After a while, he took his hand away. Teacher Kakashi, open your eyes and try. Kakashi slowly opened his left eye. His pupils suddenly shrank. Sakura covered her mouth. Oh my god. How did you do this? Rain Country fuck. Fire Nation, it just grew out. 7th generation master, my friend's finger is broken, and he wants to grow a new one. Shut up. You idiot. This is a medical ninjutsu. Don't make a wish, if he can do such a thing. Naruto is no different from a god now. Daming Mansion. A group of young eunuchs looked at Naruto on the screen with extremely fiery eyes. Muai Village Hyuga clan. Boruto's mouth opened into an O shape. Didn't Dad say that he's not good at medical ninjutsu? When he said this, he was scratching his head and looked embarrassed. He really believed it. I didn't expect my dad had this trick up his sleeve. Neji explained for Naruto. Boruto, you misunderstood Naruto. After his battle with Sasuke, the power of the Six Paths disappeared. Otherwise, he could have restored his own in Sasuke's arms. Oh, that's how it is. On screen, Naruto stroked his chin, trying to figure out how to explain this to Sakura. It's a bit complicated to explain it with words. First I'll get a part of Kakashi-sensei, and then, that's Chapter 417 Idonin number 039, T like to play cool. Hey, I just told you not to take it lightly, Naruto. Hearing Sasuke's reminder, Naruto was stunned. This is the first time I've heard this. Kakashi was shocked. It's coming. Do you remember the first bell grabbing scene? Of course I remember. Teamwork? In front, space fluctuations were heard. Madara with 6 paths fully focused in Obito, who has been controlled by Black Zetsu appear. Dying together is considered teamwork? Right, Kakashi said solemnly. Madara, you have found both Samsara eyes, your lower body has been fully restored. Naruto looked at 6 paths Madara's side. Obito, Black Zetsu said, unfortunately, Obito is no longer here. This body is mine now. Sakura recalled in her mind what she had said before, that she had caught up with Naruto and Sasuke. She activated the seal of the 100 heroes, so, there is no retreat. I'll make a feint. Follow me. As she said that, Sakura rushed towards 6 paths Madara. First wait, Naruto had just said a word when he saw Sakura raising her fist to hit 6 paths Madara, so he had no choice but to rush forward with Sasuke. Hey, Sakura's body was penetrated by the black rod. She raised her fist with difficulty, trying to hit Madara. Is it the same body regeneration technique as Hashirame's granddaughter? Boom. Sakura punched the barrier in front of 6 paths Madara. She was startled. Invisible wall? Can't hide him. Just as Naruto and Sasuke approached, 6 paths Madara snapped his fingers, and the 3 members of Team 7 in front of them retreated instantly, leaving 2 deep marks on the ground with their feet. Naruto looked at Sasuke seriously. I know, it has become more, right? From Sasuke's perspective, 4 shadows stood around 6 paths Madara, protecting him. The number of Madara's shadows has increased to 4. Liudeo Madara's mouth corners curled up. It's time for the entertainment show turned. As he spoke, he flew into the air, stretched out his right hand, and a black chakra ball appeared in his palm. The next moment, the black chakra turned into countless black light spots and floated around 6 paths. Madara clasped his hands together. Earth explosion star. Boom. The ground suddenly cracked into several pieces, and the debris flew towards the black light spot in the air. Sakura murmured in shock. This is the power of the 6 paths. Naruto also spoke. Compared to the previous ones, they are bigger and the number is different. Sasuke reminded loudly, don't just pay attention to the top. That guy's shadow is right here. Ban looked at the 3 people not far away and said, the raindrops are harder and bigger. After that, several earth-shattering stars from the sky fell towards Team 7 coming. The shadow is coming too. Naruto formed a seal with his hands. Shadow clone technique. Bang 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 bang. Naruto created 4 shadow clones, rushed towards 6 paths Madara's Rinnegan shadow, and quickly engaged in combat. Boom. One of Naruto's shadow clones was kicked by the Rinnegan shadow. Boom. Another Naruto shadow clone was punched in the face by the Rinnegan shadow. Fire Nation. Even the shadow clone is so powerful, although Madara's Rinnegan shadow has the upper hand in Taijutsu. Naruto's shadow clone is also outrageous. Even if it is hit, it will not dissipate. It will probably take a certain amount of damage before it dissipates. At Madara's level, any seal he makes is stronger than Nagato's Chibaku Tensei. Sakura's strength is still far behind Nagato's. She is really brave to be the first to rush forward. Rain Country Pain had a complicated expression. How strong is Naruto on the screen? Even the gravity of the Chibaku Tensei can't affect Naruto and Sasuke. Even if he has the Samsara Eye, he still can't stand up in the final showdown. Pure Land. Madara had no intention of appreciating the battle at this moment because he knows we are getting closer and closer to the truth. Black Zetsu, is it a clone of his will, or is it a dark hand that uses him as a pawn? The screen will soon tell him the answer on screen. Susanoo, Tailed Beast Ball Rasenshuriken. Naruto's Rasenshuriken easily cut through a Chibukuden star. Boom. The earth-shattering star burst out with a bright light and then exploded. The rubble and dust splashed on the ground made it impossible to open your eyes midair. The purple Susanoo slashed horizontally and vertically, cutting one of the Chibaku Tensei into 4 halves, and then flew to the next one. Damn it. They keep falling one after another. On the ground Naruto's shadow clone was still punching and kicking, fighting back and forth with the shadow of the wheel tomb. In front of the red full moon Liudeo pried open the periosteum on his forehead. According to the contents of that stone tablet, when the owner of the power of reincarnation approaches the moon eye, which is used to realize the infinite dream, will open. As he thought about it, the Rinnegan on Madara 6 paths forward opened and projected onto the moon. Illuminate the world. Infinite moon reading. When he said this, Time seemed to stand still for a moment. Sasuke inside the purple Susanoo seemed to have sensed something. This is not good. He quickly controlled Susanoo and flew towards Naruto. Downward, Naruto stretched out his hand, and seven-tailed beast shurikens appeared in the sky. My next attack will smash all the meteorites, don't worry. You two stay by my side and don't move. I have to be careful not to hurt Sasuke by mistake. Go, boom boom boom, Sasuke. Don't come down suddenly. Otherwise, you will be hit by the shuriken too. Call. With a bang, the purple Susanoo landed near him. Hey! Can't you be quieter when you land? Sasuke shouted. Enough. Stop talking. Don't move. As it spoke, the huge purple Susanoo spread its wings and protected the three members of Team 7 within it. Ninja World. Madara used the Earth Explosion Mansai just to delay time. I thought he was testing his abilities, and then Naruto and Sasuke were responding, and the fight continued like this. Madara is too impatient. He should have defeated Naruto and Sasuke before releasing the infinite Tsukuyomi. This would have been safer. Otherwise, if he was defeated later, wouldn't it still be released? At the moment, the difference in strength between the two sides doesn't seem that big. We can only counter each other's moves. Who is stronger and who is weaker will only be known at the end. I don't know if there is still a chance. Divine Space, seeing that it was not the infinite Tsukuyomi that he cast, Obito felt a little melancholy. The caster can control the world of infinite Tsukuyomi he wanted to be and control himself. This is also the reason why he is unwilling to resurrect Madara, but that was exactly what Madara had thought. Obito and Madara are undoubtedly the people who are most sensitive to the infinite Tsukuyomi and related matters. If it was me who cast the infinite Tsukuyomi, I would definitely be on guard against Black Zetsu. Fire Nation Muai Village Uchiha Clan Land. Future Sasuke's mouth twitched. This guy who's lagging behind hasn't realized how bad the situation is yet. Little Sasuke glanced at him. Didn't you deliberately create such a big noise just to look cool? Future Sasuke denied it without a second thought. That's not the case. I'm not the kind of person who likes to play it cool. Little Sasuke had an expression that said, my big, Carmen eyes have seen through everything. Chapter 418 Chess Pieces. On screen horizon a blinding white light flashed. This light can penetrate shadows, and no one can hide. And, 6 paths. Madara clasped his hands together. The God Tree world is born. The huge roots of the trees rose from the ground, with countless white bands emerging from them, wrapping up the people who were hit by the infinite Tsukuyomi layer by layer. Susanoo Naruto wanted to go up and stop 6 paths Madara, but was stopped by Sasuke. Naruto, not now. Far away. Black Zetsu, who was controlling Obito, murmured, didn't the light penetrate that Susanoo? That guy's Samsara eye is superior to this move. Ninja World after all. Sasuke's eyes have 6 Magatama Samsara eyes. Even the 6 Path Sage's Samsara eyes don't have Magatama. Sasuke is so miserable. He has the 6 Magatama Samsara eye, but he can't even experience the beautiful infinite Tsukuyomi. It feels like this black thing that's controlling Obito is going to cause trouble. It's Kaguya as well, and Madara seems to trust it a lot. On screen. Susanoo, don't go out now. Without the Susanoo created by my eyes, you will also be trapped by that guy's illusion. Besides, there's still that guy's shadow outside. If you and I get caught, everything will be over. Wait for the opportunity. Listening to Sasuke's words, Naruto could only wait unwillingly. Madara. The white light gradually dissipated. 6 paths. Madara looked at the purple Susanoo. They are the only ones left at this moment. The purple Susanoo dissipated. It's finally over. It seems that the black guy is fine. After that, Naruto tilted his head and asked, Sasuke, how can we wake everyone up from the illusion? The illusion of the Rinnegan should be able to be resolved by the Rinnegan not far from them. Black Zetsu said, you wish. All I have to do next is deal with you and it will be over. Boom. The figure of 6 paths Madara fell to the ground. The savior of this world will take action. The opposite of 6 paths Madara spot, the eyes on his forehead. Sasuke warned, be careful, his 4 shadows have surrounded us. I know 6 paths. Madara slowly spoke, I will not let you make any moves anymore. Accept the reality. Everything is over. When 6 paths Madara said this, a hint of surprise flashed in the eyes of Naruto sitting opposite him. Chi, a pitch black hand pierced Rikuto Madara's heart. Pure Land. Even though he already had a guess, when the facts were laid out before him, Madara's mind went blank. He couldn't help but shake his body, staggered backwards, and almost collapsed on the ground. As expected, I was deceived. At this moment, his eyes were filled with anger and murderous intent. How dare you use me? Bastard! Hoshirama's eyes widened. Motor, What on earth is it? Divine space. Even with this guess, Alberto couldn't help but change his expression. It's really like this. Many people in the ninja world were also shocked when they saw this scene. This guy is indeed the third son born to the chakra ancestor. A sneak attack at this time? Why not wait until Madara finishes off Naruto and Sasuke before launching a sneak attack? Madara knew that Naruto and Sasuke were very strong, but he still said he would finish them off, proving that he is very confident in his own strength at the moment. As long as the infinite Tsukuyomi can be activated, it doesn't matter who comes. Kaguya is actually a savior, right? Naruto and Sasuke may not be Madara's opponents, but they finally sealed Kaguya, who occupied Madara's body. On screen, Black Zetsu said, "You are wrong, Madara. You are not the savior, and this is not over yet." Six Paths. Madara's Rinnegan turned, wanting to look at Black Zetsu behind him. "Can't move, Ben. You are actually in an illusory dream. That is the dream I painted for you." Six Paths. Madara couldn't believe what Black Zetsu said. "Black Zetsu, what are you talking about? I created you. You are my consciousness." "You are wrong about this. My consciousness is Kaguya." At this time, hit by the infinite Tsukuyomi, chakra emerged from the bodies of the wrapped ninjas. What? The reincarnated Tobirama saw this scene and said solemnly, "The tree is absorbing chakra." The six-striped monster opened its mouth and let out a miserable cry. Sasuke discovered that the shadow of Six Paths Madara suddenly disappeared. Naruto asked nervously, "What is going on? Such amazing chakra. The shadows of the surrounding spots have all disappeared. Something has happened." Pure Land. The vein on Ben's forehead was throbbing. "Black Zetsu, I will kill you." At this moment, Izuna looked even angrier than Madara. "Asshole." Tobirama's face showed 3 parts of sigh and 7 parts of emotion, 990 points of gloating. "You are ambitious, but you also have your own sense of justice. It turns out that you have always been used as a pawn by others, and at the last moment, the fruits of victory were reaped by others." On screen, next moment the earth cracked open, and huge streams of chakra shot up into the sky from the cracks. One of the chakras actually directly blew away the 4 members of Team 7 on the opposite side. All the chakras poured into Six Paths Madara's body. Kakashi steadied himself after landing. The chakra gushing out from the ground is being absorbed continuously. Where does such a strong chakra come from? Hearing Sakura's doubts, Sasuke guessed, it should be the person who was caught by the infinite Tsukuyomi. Listening to the miserable cries of Ryudaoben in front, looking at the chakra still pouring into Madara's body, making his body swell up, Naruto clenched his fists and said seriously, "This is going to be bad. Sasuke, this chakra is stronger than the 10 tails. Stop him before he acts." As he spoke, lightning flashed from Sasuke's heart. He clenched the lightning in his hand and the Chidori sharp spear was held in his hand. "Go. Naruto, stop him while he's still swollen." Right. Naruto and Sasuke, holding the black sticks, rushed towards Six Paths Madara at the same time, but were entangled by the white hair halfway. Heiju said sinisterly, "Two moths that fly into the fire. Now let me suck away your chakra as well." "Hateful." Sasuke struggled. "I can't move," Naruto said anxiously. "Sasuke, if we can't defeat him to stop the absorption, everyone's chakra will be absorbed first. They will die," Black Zetsu said. "Don't worry, they won't die. Kaguya once used infinite Tsukuyomi on people and saved them alive. The purpose was to produce Kaguya's army." The body of Six Paths Madara, who was also unable to move and wrapped in black liquid, thought he had misheard and asked, "Black Zetsu, what are you talking about?" Infinite Tsukuyomi is the Uchiha technique to bring permanent peace to the ninja world. The Six Paths sage recorded this on the stone tablet. It's written on the stone tablet, "Ben, I have lived much longer than you. I have plenty of time to find the stone tablet left by Hagoromo and make corrections." Infinite moon reading is not a technique to give people peaceful dreams, but to concentrate the chakra that everyone possesses and make it extremely huge. You are acting for this very reason. No. Under the impetus of Kaguya's consciousness, Six Paths Madara was startled and murmured, "I did that kind of thing." If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 419 Boruto, Naruto Next Generations, Abridged. Pure Land. Hashirama breathed a sigh of relief. "If that's the case, you should give up your original idea, right?" Tobirama was a little surprised. After learning the truth, Madara's first reaction was not anger towards Black Zetsu, but regret for having done that. For his surprise, Izuna could understand it very well. Brother just wants peace and to make the ninja world a better place. He doesn't want to destroy it. If being hit by the infinite Tsukuyomi will turn a person into a white Zetsu, Big Brother will definitely not do that again. Just as Izuna guessed after knowing that the infinite Tsukuyomi was also fake, Madara no longer had the fighting spirit he had before. His hopes were dashed. He was completely crushed by Black Zetsu's words. Even if the infinite Tsukuyomi is real, he would not trust others to control that illusion world and control everyone in the ninja world. Divine Space Obito looked extremely ugly. He also knew that he was being used by Madara, but he didn't care about it because he would be out of Madara's control. But now, even the infinite Tsukuyomi is fake, then what else in this world is real? Since Madara said that he actually did that kind of thing, it proves that in his heart, he doesn't want everyone in the ninja world to become white Zetsu. The Bito fail silent ninja world. From what Madara said, he doesn't want humans to become Kaguya's army. Even though he's an enemy of the savior, he's not a big villain. This is the biggest reason why Naruto's identity as a savior is recognized. He really saved the ninja world and saved everyone. Instead of blocking people from experiencing a better world, Naruto is more reliable after all. I won't believe in beautiful dreams anymore. If it's really as Black Zetsu said, then wouldn't the human race in the ninja world be completely extinct? Kaguya created the army to defend against those three guys that even she is afraid of, right? Aren't they just cannon fodder? I still want to experience the world of infinite Tsukuyomi. On screen, just like you treat Obito as a chess piece, you are actually just a chess piece too. Rikuto Madara's pupils trembled and his whole face puffed up. His body was gradually wrapped by Black Zetsu. Why is this happening? Hashirama, what on earth did I do wrong? Naruto exclaimed. Hey! It's getting so big, he can't stand absorbing too much chakra. He's expanding. He's going to explode. As Sasuke finished his words, 6 paths Madara's swollen body began to shrink and gradually turned into the appearance of Kaguya. This is what Grandpa said, Akatsuki. Kaguya. As Sasuke's voice fell, Kaguya slowly opened her eyes. Moon Kaguya looked at Black Zetsu on the screen, feeling moved and guilty in this world. Only Black Zetsu and Ano treat her sincerely. It took Black Zetsu 1,000 years of planning to rescue her, but she was sealed away again in the end. Fire Nation Muai Village Sarutobi Clan Sarutobi Hirozen rubbed his temples with a headache. If there were no Black Zetsu, many tragedies in the ninja world might have been avoided. The reason why there are so many tragedies in the ninja world is because Black Zetsu wants to rescue his mother. This kind of thing. Hyuga Clan Boruto, who was still lamenting that Madara's story had ended, was stunned. The next title appeared on the screen. A new era begins. Boruto, Naruto Next Generations. I transmit my story. Uchiha Clan Land. Little Sasuke breathed a sigh of relief. When I thought about the possibility that Madara might give up the infinite Tsukuyomi plan, the pressure on me suddenly eased a lot. Future Sasuke shook his head. You think too simply. Ninja world, what a shame. Is this the end? I've always been curious about Naruto and Sasuke's battle with Kaguya. Kakashi must have contributed to the resealing of the chakra progenitor. After all, Obito lent his eyes to Kakashi. Kakashi, who has the ability of time and space, can definitely help. I suddenly discovered that Black Zetsu is also very powerful. I don't know if it is very strong, but it can actually cause so much trouble to the ninja world, and finally successfully rescued Kaguya. Boruto. My curiosity about Boruto is greater than anything else. This kid is not simple. He may surpass Naruto and Sasuke in the future. Stories that happen in the future seem more relaxed and less depressing. Madara. Don't let the truth defeat you. Continue to complete your plan. I will always support you. Divine Space. Obito was a little absent-minded. He has done so many wrong things for his ideals. If he gives up, no. He must not give up. Obito's eyes became more determined. Madara had a way to retreat, but he didn't. He must create an ideal world and allow everyone to be resurrected in that world. As long as he can become 6 paths, maybe he can find a way to prevent humans from turning into white Zetsu, become one of the 6 paths at a higher level of life and possess powerful strength. He doesn't believe that he can't find a way. Chapter 420, Scientific Ninja Tools, Abridged. On screen SHHHHH. 3 figures quickly shuttled through the woods. Boruto landed on the tree trunk and formed seals with his hands. Shadow clone technique. Boruto and the 2 shadow clones landed on a large rock. He said to the bear not far away, "You really made a mess here. I am your opponent." Damn Panda. Sarada and Mitsuki landed beside him. That's a bear. Sarada pointed at the bear and said to Boruto, "That's a bear." It just looks like a panda. It's nothing, just an ugly panda. I said it was a bear. Boruto, you idiot. Mitsuki looked at Sarada, who was yelling at Boruto. Such trivial matters are not important. What is important now is to lead this panda bear to Mr. Konohamaru. After his words failed, the manic bear rushed directly towards the 5 figures in front of it. 5 figures quickly jumped away. Mitsuki stretched out his arms and tied the bear tightly like a rope. Sarada shouted and was about to take action. Boruto's 2 shadow clones were one step ahead of her and kicked the bear in the eyes with both feet. The bear that was kicked slid for several meters on the ground, looked at Boruto, then turned around and ran away. Boom! The 2 shadow clones disappeared. Boruto, holding his head, passed by Sarada and said with a smile, "Did you see that? This panda is a small matter." Sarada looked unhappy when she heard Boruto's words. Mitsuki said, "Leave it to the son of the 7th Hokage, who is also the grandson of the 4th Hokage. He should also become Hokage." After saying that, he chased in the direction Boruto left. Sarada looked at his back, clenched her fists, and retorted, "I am the one who wants to be Hokage. Ninja World, why don't you two have a battle in the Valley of the End someday? Whoever wins will be the Hokage." At such a young age, he can kick Kuma so far. This kid Boruto has been incredible since he was young. He is worthy of being the child of our savior. Fortunately, Madara's infinite Tsukuyomi did not succeed, otherwise such a talented boy might not have been born. Woohoo, my world of illusion. Kaguya's cannon fodder is the white Zetsu who wants to know what it feels like to poop. I don't want to become an ugly, stupid idiot. Before, I was wavering between the infinite Tsukuyomi of Madara and Obito, and the piece brought by Naruto. Then the screen told me that if I was hit by the infinite Tsukuyomi, I would become a cannon fodder standing in front of Kaguya in the future. At this moment, I recognized my own heart. In fact, I am more in favor of the infinite Tsukuyomi that will not turn me into a cannon fodder. When I see Boruto and Hikari getting along, I think they are a good match. When I see Boruto and Sarada getting along, I think they are a good match too. Boruto, why don't you just play 2 girls at the same time? On screen turned Boruto, Mitsuki, and Sarada chased the big bear and drove it towards Konohamaru. Konohamaru stretched out his hand, with scientific ninja tools tied to his wrist. A scroll smaller than his little finger popped out from the scientific ninja tool and was held in his palm. Konohamaru slammed the small scroll to the ground. Shadow binding technique. Fire Nation. After seeing this scene, Shikoku fell into deep thought. Technology. They can actually do something like this. It seems that the village will have to pay more attention to scientific research talents in the future ninja world. Did Konohamaru also learn this move in a snap? This is Shikamaru's jutsu, which means it's the Nara family's secret jutsu. What is that thing tied to Konohamaru's wrist? Is that the reason why he can use the Nara secret technique? On screen somewhere in a village, the tied-up big bear had tears in his eyes. Boruto poked its nose with a branch. A group of children squatted beside him. Eager to try. Not far away, Konohamaru said to the old man in front of him, "The reconstruction team will be here soon." The old man said gratefully, "Thank you so much." Sarada took a step forward. "Oh, Mr. Konohamaru, the technique you just used, isn't it the secret technique of the Nara clan?" "Yeah." Konohamaru rummaged in his pocket and took out 3 small scrolls. While revealing the scientific ninja tools on his wrist, Boruto ran over to him. "Wow. Cool," Mitsuki asked. "Is that the new ninja tool I've heard so much about? It seems that you get information quickly." Mitsuki. This is the prototype given by the Science Ninja Tool team. Collecting its usage data is also part of the mission. Mitsuki picked up a scroll from Konohamaru's hand. "This scroll is so small. Is that jutsu stored in it?" "Yes, this thing can store ninjutsu. Shikamaru's shadow binding technique is sealed in it." Konohamaru pulled out a scroll and spread it out on the ground. "My Rasengan." As he spoke, a Rasengan appeared in Konohamaru's hand and he pressed it into the scroll. The scroll lit up with light, and the word wind appeared on it. Konohamaru closed the scroll in his hand, and it popped and turned into a small scroll-like hand. He placed the scroll into the ninja tool on his wrist, aimed it forward, and the Rasengan was fired from the ninja tool on his wrist. Boruto exclaimed, "Ninja World, doesn't that mean that even an ordinary person like me can perform ninjutsu?" Hiss. "Can you use the Chibaku Tensei? Will this ninja tool be sold in the future? I want to buy it." It's obvious now that the 5 major countries will definitely attach great importance to scientific researchers in the future. Anyone can understand the benefits of this. This is simply the greatest invention. Even a Jonin dares not use ninjutsu at will in order to preserve chakra. It is hard to imagine how much of an impact this thing will have on the ninja world once it comes out. Once scientific ninja tools are introduced, They will undoubtedly become the strongest means for ninjas to preserve their lives. Was it Fang Suk's doctor who invented this ninja tool? Pure Land Hashirama also exclaimed, wow. So cool. He rubbed his hands vigorously. Want to play? I want to put 2 tree world births in to try out the effect. Chapter 421 Neglect. On screen great. So anyone can use it? Yes. This has nothing to do with chakra. I dare even say. People who are not ninjas can use it. Just as Konohamaru said this, a loud bang was heard not far behind him. Boruto and Sarada were shocked. Mitsuki, Konohamaru-sensei, a drop of sweat slid down Konohamaru's face. Since it has nothing to do with anyone's chakra, the accuracy may be a problem. The place where the loud noise came from, the family of 3 stared blankly at their home, which was destroyed by the Rasengan with a clang. The hammer in the man's hand fell to the ground. Screen turn. Muai Village. On the big screen on the street, the scene of Naruto being interviewed was being played. The important thing is communication, right? You are right. Then the host continued, as the 7th generation Naruto-sama just said, communication is the key to establishing our current peace after so many wars. However, we cannot forget the ninjas who dedicated themselves to our current peace. Naruto? That's right. So in order to ensure that the sacrifices of those ninjas were not in vain, and to maintain peace, we must teach the young people, the next generation, the key to peace. Naruto? That's right. We cannot say that the scars left by the war on the people of the 5 ninja villages have healed, but through the efforts of the 7th Sama, the 5 ninja villages, which once quarreled endlessly, have made progress step by step on the road of communication and exchange. We are now an advanced information society. We must continue to protect the peace and prosperity we have achieved. Now, regarding the first time that the 5 ninja villages will hold the Chunin exam together, do you have anything to say to the Jonin who are about to participate? Naruto looked at the camera and raised 3 fingers. Just remember 3 things: teamwork and perseverance. At this point, he gave a thumbs up and grinned. That's all. Good luck to everyone. That's just 2 points. Anyway, thank you for these enlightening suggestions. This concludes our live broadcast today. As soon as he finished speaking, Naruto's figure disappeared with a bang. Ninja World. Even after becoming Hokage, Naruto is still stupid. I just realized that Naruto became the Hokage, so Sasuke can be regarded as replacing Danzo as the root, right? These 2 people, one in the light and one in the dark, protect Konoha? That sounds good, but once you are controlled by others and want to start a war, who can stop you? Isn't it still necessary to rely on strength to make the other 4 major ninja villages communicate well? This kind of peace is far from the infinite Tsukuyomi that will not turn you into a white Zetsu. On screen, accompanied by the sound of conversation, scenes of peace and harmony emerge one after another. Naruto's home. Hinata was cleaning with a vacuum cleaner. Himawari dug out the dirty orange clothes that Naruto once wore in the supermarket. Choji and Jojo Akimachi saw that the snacks were sold out. The 2 looked angrily at Naruto, who was paying at the cashier next to Naruto. The shadow clone was holding a large basket of snacks, and there were also a lot of snacks on the counter in the Hokage meeting room. Naruto was taking a nap when Kakashi hit him on the head with a book on the street. Sakura and Ino sat at the door of the stall eating tri-color meatballs. When she saw Naruto, Sakura extended her hand to greet him. Ninja World. At this time, Naruto has already learned a lot of knowledge. He is no longer Kenji. A buzz cut doesn't look good anymore. Naruto should learn from Sasuke and grow long hair. The ninja world of the future will be great, harmonious and much better than it is now. Pure Land. Seeing this peaceful scene, Madara felt a little upset. Hashi hot mama, my way. Hashirama muttered to himself, ninja tools. I really want high-tech ninja tools. On screen, Hokage's office. Hey, Dad. Boruto looked at Naruto in front of him and asked, isn't this a shadow clone? Naruto rested his elbows on the table, fingers crossed. Of course not. This is the Hokage's office. By the way, don't call me Dad here, you should call me Hokage or 7th Hokage. So, how about it? Oh. This mission is very simple. I can do it alone. Hearing Boruto say this, Naruto said to him, teamwork and perseverance are very important for ninjas. You should train in groups of 3. Boruto put his hands on his hips and interrupted with some pride. I can create 3 shadow clones without any training. I have already learned wind escape, lightning escape, and recently also water escape. Fire Nation. Muai Village. Hyuga clan. Neji opened his mouth. He was just about to tell Boruto that when Naruto was your age, he could create hundreds of shadow clones. As a result, Boruto's next words made him hold back his words. Boruto was indeed a genius. On screen, Naruto looked at Konohamaru. Konohamaru, what did you teach him? Konohamaru scratched the back of his head sheepishly. Boruto was speechless. Don't scold my teacher just because you know nothing about me. You don't even bother to look at me. Naruto was silent. The father and son just stared at each other. The atmosphere was in a stalemate for a moment. Fire Nation, this. I was originally going to say that Boruto was too much for talking to Naruto like that, but then I remembered what Boruto said at the beginning, that Naruto had always been ignoring him. The Hokage is too busy at work. There's nothing we can do about it. Just look at Naruto dozing off in a meeting room and you'll know how tired he is. The 7th generation's work was the most tiring, because that period was when the ninja world was developing rapidly. No matter how busy I am, I can't ignore my son. What if Boruto grows up crooked and becomes like Menma? You expect Boruto to understand Naruto? Don't be ridiculous. Boruto was born a noble young master. Even if Naruto is not the Hokage, his identity as Naruto's son will make him highly respected. It's good enough that such a child has not been spoiled and has a bad temper. On screen the father and son looked at each other for a long time. In the end, Boruto was the first to turn his head away. He sighed. Never mind, Naruto said. The important thing is, Boruto interrupted loudly, don't worry about it. You know today is an important day, right? He frowned. If you forget my sister's birthday, I will never forgive you. Naruto was stunned for a moment, then dropped his eyes. Fire Nation, my village Hyuga clan, Boruto said unhappily. Look at this, he really forgot. It's a pity that he was interrupted later, otherwise I would have been able to see it. Although, Neji answered, smiling, though you can understand Naruto now, right? Even though he couldn't understand it, he believed that Boruto was just saying it out of anger. Boruto spoke hesitantly. I understand a little bit. He doesn't care. Well, it doesn't matter, mainly because my younger sister has always been neglected. Chapter 422, Bad Times. Neji hesitated. Naruto will not forget Imwari's birthday after you reminded him, right? Boruto pouted. Not really, but he messed up his sister's birthday. Hayashi put on a smile on his face. Since it's Imwari's birthday, you must celebrate it with the Hyuga clan, right? If you dare to mess up Imwari's birthday, Grandpa will definitely take care of you and give Naruto a good scolding. Hearing this, Boruto choked. Seeing Boruto like this, the smile on Hayashi's face froze. Boruto smiled awkwardly. Well, next time I will definitely. On screen at this time Fangzu knocked on the door and walked in. Feel sorry. Naruto looked at Fangzu, who was walking in through the door behind Boruto. Oh, Fangzu. Fangzu walked towards Naruto and said, as the leader of the high-tech ninja tool team, I have a request, Mr. 7th Hero. What? In the upcoming Chunin exam, we hope you will allow the use of the technological ninja tools developed by our group. As he spoke, Haosuke lifted up Konohamaru's wrist. Fire Nation, a smile appeared on Shikoku's face. It's Dr. Fangzu indeed. Muai Village Hokage building. Fugaku looked delighted. After the live broadcast is over, we must find this talent and allocate funds from the village for him to study technology that is useful to Konoha. Oh, but, although Professor Fangzu is very important to Konoha, and this technological ninja tool is also very important, it is not appropriate to use it in the Chunin exam. Sarutobi clan. Sarutobi Hiruzen shook his head, already anticipating the outcome. Naruto won't agree to that. On screen Haosuke grabbed Sarada and Mitsuki's shoulders. That way, Jinan won't have to go through hard training, and their performance will be more exciting. And if we sell them to other ninja villages, the export revenue will also benefit Konoha village. Naruto interrupted in a deep voice. No. He looked up at Fangzu and said, the Chunin exam is not a performance. The purpose of the exam is to train ninjas. I understand. I'm sorry to bother you. Having said that, Fangzu lowered his head and turned away. Boruto looked at his back, and when he opened the door, the other party smiled at him. Boruto smiled back after the door was closed. Boruto turned around and said something to Naruto. This isn't the shitty time you grew up in, Dad. After saying that, he turned and ran out of Naruto's office. Hey. Boruto, wait. Seeing that Boruto didn't stop, Konohamaru lowered his hands, looking speechless. I haven't given him the Chunin exam application yet. Naruto touched the back of his head, feeling helpless. Pure Land Hashirama sighed. Times have changed. Tobirama looked indifferent. Boruto is Naruto's son, and he has shown a lot of extraordinary qualities on the screen. I believe that in a few years, people will understand why Naruto rejected Fangsuke. Madara had almost come to terms with it by now. Boruto is right. Our era is a rotten era, but even so, ninjas cannot rely on technological ninja tools, even if they are just Jinan. Otherwise you will never become a strong person. Izuna sighed. In Boruto's time, Technology developed very rapidly. Qiu even developed a chakra cannon that can destroy meteorites. I wonder what the other 3 ninja villages have researched. Minato frowned. He had a feeling that Boruto was going to see Dr. Fangzhou, but the current Dr. Fangzhou doesn't give him the same feeling as he did later, that he treats Boruto sincerely. Kushina sighed, although she felt bad for her son and grandson. But, Naruto, you should pay more attention to Boruto. When Naruto was a child, he used pranks to attract people's attention. No one knew the feeling of being ignored better than him. Fire Nation, Muai Village, Sarutobi Clan, Sarutobi Hirozen recalled the 3 major wars in the ninja world. If there is no Naruto, the future of the ninja world will probably still be a bad era. On screen, Fangzhou handed the blue chip in his hand to Boruto. This is for you. Boruto took it. Thank you again. Don't forget to develop those new software, Fangzhou said. You know I won't. Also, Master Boruto, are you going to take part in the Chunin exam? No. Ninja World. Boruto and Fangzhou must be old acquaintances. They seem to have a good relationship. Did Boruto also awaken Naruto's Jinan gene? With his talent, it shouldn't be difficult for him to become a Chunin, right? Even if he participates, he may not be able to stand out on the Chunin exam. There are many geniuses, not just Boruto. If he encounters an opponent as strong as Naruto, Sasuke, and Gaara, Boruto might be eliminated. On screen, Fangzhou touched his forehead. What a pity. I believe everyone wants to see your ability, especially your father. Boruto was stunned. Will the Hokage watch the Chunin exam? Of course. Screen turn. In the restaurant, Boruto is playing games. Mitsuki walked up to him and handed him the Chunin exam application. So, you are a video game genius? Boruto asked. What do you want to do, Mitsuki? I told you I'm not interested. Sarada put her hands on her waist and said to Boruto, Teacher Konohamaru wants us to participate. Mitsuki also said, we need a 3-person team to meet the requirements of the Chunin selection exam. If you don't apply, we can't participate. Boruto, who is playing the game, lowered his eyes slightly. I don't care. Sarada grabbed Boruto by the collar. My dream is to become a Hokage. Are you going to destroy my dream? Boruto seemed to have misunderstood and thought Sarada wanted him to be Hokage, so he waved her hand away. I don't want to be a Hokage. Because the sound was so loud, people around looked over. Sarada put her hands on the table and looked at Boruto seriously. The position of Hokage is not inherited. Okay, then you can be the Hokage. At this point, Boruto's voice became much quieter. But don't even think about getting married in this life. To the people around the Hokage, he is just a bastard. Sarada was stunned. She was silent. Obviously he can understand Boruto's situation. Pure Land. Kushina held her forehead. Naruto, look at Sarada. She knew at the age of 12 that she had to pass the Chunin exam to become a Hokage. The corners of Minato's mouth curled up unconsciously. Boruto doesn't look like he doesn't care, especially after knowing that the Hokage will be watching the Chunin exams. My little pineapple head looks so proud, a bit like sass. Quan na shook his head. Boruto's idea is too extreme. It's a bit exaggerated to say that she won't marry for her whole life. The Hokage is just busy, not that he has no feelings. Besides, Sarada has to continue the Uchiha bloodline. If I don't marry, in a few decades, won't even the Uchiha bloodline disappear in the ninja world? How is this possible? Chapter 423 Shadow Clone. On screen, Jingzhen, who was sitting opposite Boruto, said, Boruto, we also need a 3rd person, otherwise, we can't level up. Without you, we can't defeat the next boss. Boruto used his hands to operate the game console. Then I'll give you my data. This has a plugin, which makes it much easier. Jingzhen said, that's not what I want. It's okay, someone else gave it to me. As soon as Boruto finished speaking, 4 words appeared on his game console. The message has been sent at the same time. Jingzhen was stunned and looked at the game console in his hand. What? This is a cheater. Shikide stood up with a plate in hand. Boruto looked up at him and asked, are you leaving? Lutai said, yes. This game is fun only because I have to hide from my mother to play it. Oh, Jingzhen also stood up. Okay. I'd better go too. After saying that, he also left with a plate. Screen turn on the street. The 3 of them walked together. We should at least. Mitsuki didn't know how to start. Sarada said to Boruto, listen, we are in the same class. Let's at least discuss it. Please, Boruto. Let the 7th Hokage see what we are capable of. Let's see it in the exam. Boruto was stunned. Fangzhou's words came to Mindy. Believe everyone wants to see your ability, especially your 5th. Boruto fell into deep thought. After a moment, he curled his lips. Okay. If you want me to participate, I will participate, in a place where the 3 people couldn't see. Fangzhou, who had a bug in his ear, looked at the three people with a smile on his face. Sarada pinched her waist, feeling very proud. Too easy to control. Oh yes, Sarada, is your father coming to see you? Sarada followed Boruto and sat down on the bench. Who cares about a guy who can't become Hokage? Boruto looked at her and said, you are wrong. My father always said that Uncle Sasuke is another Hokage. He is just being modest. After hearing what Sarada said, Mitsuki said, Sasuke is the only ninja who can fight against the 7th Hokage. That's what my parents said. My parents are more powerful than your fathers. Fire Nation. Mitsuki seems to be Orochimaru's son, right? Orochimaru will be more powerful than Naruto and Sasuke in the future? I think you're just bragging, right? Orochimaru is Mitsuki's father, so who is Mitsuki's mother? Could it be that the mother is more powerful? Not Orochimaru. He was actually eavesdropping on Boruto's conversation? There must be a conspiracy. The current Dr. Fangzhu gives me the feeling that he wants to use Boruto to achieve his own goals. Country of Earth Iwagakure Didara scoffed. Anyone can be compared to Naruto and Sasuke. Your father is more powerful, so let your father solve the future crisis of the ninja world. On screen, seeing Boruto in a daze, Mitsuki asked, what's wrong? By the way, who are your parents? Sarada also looked at him and said, you didn't tell me either. Oh, yes, elder brother. At this moment, Sunflower's voice reached the ears of the three people. The three of them looked over Sunflower. Next to Hinata waved to Boruto and said, today is my birthday, hurry up. Let's go home together. A smile appeared on Boruto's face. Okay. He smiled and glanced at Sarada. Sorry, I have to leave. Sarada stared blankly at him as he walked towards Himori. Hurry up, brother. Mom, let me get these bags. Boruto took the bags from Hinata. Xiaokui, we have a big dinner tonight. Behind the three of them, Mitsuki watched this scene and said, it turns out that Boruto knows how to laugh. Sarada still looked dazed and nodded. It was as if it was the first time he saw Boruto smile so happily. Ninja World, didn't Boruto smile before? Could it be that Sarada and Mitsuki have never seen Boruto happy before? Borin was born with a noble status and has everything. What else is there to be unhappy about? There are a lot of glass. Go experience the infinite Tsukuyomi. Maybe there's a place where your father does nothing but hangs around you all day. Come on. Come and support the infinite Tsukuyomi. On screen, Boruto and the other two returned home and just opened the door when they saw Naruto coming out to greet them. Naruto extended his hand to the three people. Hey, Sunflower looked surprised. Boruto scratched his head. So you still remember at evening Naruto was lighting candles on the cake on the table. Boruto and Hinata clapped their hands and sang birthday song to Himori, whose cheeks were slightly blushing. Happy birthday to you. You are a baby. Once Naruto lit all the candles on the cake, he walked over to the dining table with the cake. Happy birthday. As Naruto walked to the dining table, his figure disappeared into smoke with a bang and the cake fell to the ground. The birthday song came to an abrupt end. Boruto's clapping hands froze in midair. Fire Nation hiss. I can already imagine Boruto's angry look. I guess Boruto will come after Naruto, right? Alice, this father and son lack mutual understanding. It's not just Boruto. Naruto is the same. Among the 7 Hokage, Naruto is the most tired. He has given so much to the village. Ninja World, it's too early for Himori to be happy. The Naruto who celebrated her birthday was just a shadow clone. I feel like this is a bit too much. Naruto, can't you spare a little time? I finally understand why Boruto dislikes Naruto so much. Even Hinata was stunned. This is the awareness of being a Hokage. The responsibility on your shoulders is more important than the feelings of your relatives. Only when such a person becomes the leader can the villagers live a better life. Although the peace that Naruto brought to the ninja world is not as good as the infinite Tsukuyomi, he really tried hard. The crisis that should have been born by the ninja world was also resisted by Naruto and Sasuke. So no matter what decision they make, I will always understand and support them, even if it means starting a war. Because this is what the ninja world owes them. On screen, shadow clone, Boruto put his hands on the table, stood up and prepared to go to the Hokage building. Hinata hurried forward and tried to grab Boruto. Let me go. Mom, Hinata softly defended Naruto. Your father has to work hard for the people in the village, Boruto yelled angrily. He just sits behind the desk all day and points fingers. Anyone can do it, Hinata said to him seriously. Hokage is a very difficult job. He is an indispensable person in the village and is responsible for the survival of the village. It is a responsibility passed down from generation to generation. Chapter 424. So cool. Ninja World. Hearing Boruto's words, my mind involuntarily thought of Naruto, who dreamed of becoming a Hokage when he was a child. Why don't we let Boruto take Naruto's place for a few days? Naruto can guide him from the side and let him know how heavy the responsibility of the Hokage is. With Boruto's intelligence, I believe he will understand Naruto soon. The second, third, and fourth generations of Konoha all died to protect the village. So, how did the first generation die? Did he think that Madara was dead, and became depressed all day, and lost hope of living? This is not something that everyone can do. Looking at the 7 Kage of Konoha, the only one who made Konoha develop rapidly was Naruto, followed by the Nidaime who established the ninja school. Compared to the two of them, the other Kage seemed mediocre. On screen Boruto asked loudly in confusion, and the Hokage's child should be grateful for being born into this damn family. Huh? Oh, yes. I heard that our grandfather is also a Hokage, so when Dad was a child, Hokage Grandpa wasn't even alive. So, I guess Dad was lucky. He never had to experience the joy of having a parent around. Hinata lowered her eyes. I know it's sad to be without Daddy by your side on such an important day. Hearing Hinata's words, Boruto fell silent. Hinata continued, but your situation is different. You have a father. He's here. Boruto said, I'm not talking about me, but Xiao. Never mind. Boruto turned and left in a depressed mood. He walked to his door and was about to open it when he saw a room with its door open. Nearby screen turned Hokage's office. Naruto leaned against his desk, slumped down in exhaustion. Eyes screwed up again. He looked at the framed picture of Minato on the wall. Dad, what should I do? Ninja World. Naruto really blames himself. Naruto right now is obviously very powerful, but he gives me a very fragile feeling. At least Boruto still has his parents and sister, although there are countless reasons. The damage Naruto has caused to his own child is also real. Pure Land. Minato felt a little distressed however, although he didn't know what to do. Either one is the village, the other is the family. If it were him, he would probably suggest Naruto to take some time to spend with his family, just like he did later that day. It was a rare rest, and Naruto slept for the whole day. On screen Shikamaru pushed open the door and was startled when he saw Naruto slumped on the ground, and he quickly ran forward. Hey! What's wrong? He ran to Naruto, squatted down and said to him, let me clean up the files, you should go home and rest. Naruto was silent. Screen turned. Boruto walked into the room and looked around. He saw a doodled portrait of him and sunflowers on the photo frame. There are also photos of Naruto and Gaara, the former Team 7, Naruto wearing the Hokage hat, Naruto hugging him, and Hinata hugging Himawari, and a photo of Boruto and Hinata celebrating Himawari's birthday. Boruto looked at the tattered old clothes hanging on the closet. Pull it down. So dirty, and so rotten. He looked at Naruto in the group photo of Team 7, and Hinata's words came to his mind. But your situation is different. You have your father, his hair. Boruto grasped the garment tightly and threw it out of the window. This thing sucks. Just then, the doorbell rang downstairs. Boruto was stunned. Eyes or no, Dad is home. Thinking of this, he rushed downstairs. The moment the door opened, he punched it, but it was held firmly by a hand. Then, that hand released Boruto's hand. When Boruto saw that it was not Naruto, he couldn't help but take a step back. I'm sorry, I thought you were my dad, Sasuke asked. You are Naruto's son? What's your name? Boruto Uzumaki. The light in the entrance came on and Hinata walked out. Is that you? Sasuke asked. Is Naruto here? I think he's still in the Hokage's office. Boruto stared blankly at the cold Sasuke in front of him. I see. Sorry to bother you. After saying that, Sasuke turned and left. He is my father's rival. Thinking of this, Boruto's cheeks flushed and his eyes sparkled. Really cool. Pure Land. Kushina was speechless. If Naruto knew, would he cry out of grievance? I thought it was my dad, so I punched him, but when I saw it was Sasuke I thought it was cool. Fire Nation Muai Village Uchiha Clan Land. Little Sasuke looked very proud. As soon as my future self appeared, I conquered Boruto. It turns out that children prefer handsome people. Rain Country. This is just the first time we've met. Boruto, he. Naruto looked agitated and spoke incoherently. Zion comforted softly. It's okay. Just think about Sarada. The atmosphere was quiet for a moment. Naruto suddenly felt better. Ninja World. If you don't want this dress, don't throw it away. You can give it to me. Boruto is really. Does he know the value of Naruto's clothes? Naruto has worn this clothes for several years. It is very collectible. I just realized something. It's really scary when you think about it. Whenever Naruto spends a birthday with Himawari, even if it's just a shadow clone, they should take a photo together. On screen Sasuke left Naruto's house and was on his way to the Hokage building. He stopped after walking a few steps. He looked at the clothes that Naruto had worn on the ground, and he didn't know how long he stayed there. Screen turn. Naruto was sorting out some documents. preparing to go home. Once he was done at this moment, a scroll was thrown towards him. Naruto reached out to catch it, and asked in confusion, "What is that?" Sasuke pushed open the door and said, "I took it back from Kaguya's palace." Sasuke. Naruto opened the scroll in his hand, which contained words he could not understand. "I have a bad feeling." Hearing this, Sasuke said, "I can't even read it with my samsara eye. There's another guy who worries me, but he's not following me." Ninja World. These are the 8 most recent ones. Those who are interested in the same thing can only compete with me, so these are the only ones I can understand. What is this mess? It can't even be connected in series. Kaguya's palace, then the text on it is likely to record the information about those 3 guys. Before, I thought Naruto was too perfunctory in his treatment of his family, but when the 2 of them stood together, I remembered that Sasuke didn't even recognize his own daughter. From this point of view, neither Naruto nor Sasuke is a good father and husband. On screen Naruto stood up. "Well, I guess I can't go home. Let's find out what this scroll is about, shall we?" Chapter 425. No longer new. "Oh, yes." Sasuke took out Naruto's clothes. "This?" Naruto asked. "How did it get into your hands?" "I picked it up on the way here." Profound. Sasuke said to him, "I also saw your son. He looks a lot like you when you were a child." Naruto looked at the dress in his hand. "Oh, he's nothing like me before. He looks more like you when you were a kid." "No, I take that back. He's also different from you. The clothes he wears always look brand new. I guess we're just out of date." "You are wrong. The ninja spirit is still the same." "So is your son," Naruto said softly. "I don't believe it. By the way, I think I won this game." Sasuke laughed. "How dare you say that?" The last one. Screen turn. In an alley with a bang, Boruto appeared behind Sasuke and kicked him hard. Sasuke disappeared. Boruto missed his kick and looked around in panic, but didn't see Sasuke. Then his figure disappeared in a puff of smoke with a bang. A moment later, Boruto ran out from an alley. He disappeared. Sasuke appeared behind him and kicked him lightly in the calf, causing Boruto to fall down. Boruto stood up and dusted himself off. "You are awesome. You used to be my dad's rival, right?" Sasuke looked at Boruto's clothes, thinking, "I understand now. Brand new. Please accept me as your disciple. I want to defeat someone, no matter what the cost." Looking at Boruto's blue eyes, Sasuke was a little dazed. He asked calmly, "Can you use Rasengan?" Boruto was stunned. "If you don't know how to do it, you can't be my disciple." After saying that, Sasuke turned and left. Boruto shouted at his back, "It's just a small matter." Sasuke walked in silence and did not answer. Naruto. "The previous match is not over yet, Ninja World. I've seen it here. Then you went to find Konohamaru, right? Can you give me that unwanted piece of clothing, Naruto?" "It's not like I have any special quirks, I just like collecting old clothes." Sasuke is right. The soul of a ninja will never change. Boruto will become an excellent Konoha ninja one day. Because he is Naruto's son, I firmly believe it. In my eyes, Boruto is the protagonist who will replace Naruto in the new era. If those 2 white-skinned guys are defeated in the end, maybe it will be Boruto's contribution. On screen Boruto finds Konohamaru and wants to learn the Rasengan. When practicing the Rasengan, Boruto's perseverance was seen by Sarada, who was hiding in the tree behind him. After a few days and nights, even Boruto's sword protector was slightly worn, and his clothes were no longer as new as before. Konohamaru looked at the small Rasengan in Boruto's hand with a shocked expression. "No, that's impossible, bastard." Boruto cheered. "Done." Screen turn. Boruto demonstrates the Rasengan in front of Sasuke. Looking at the mini Rasengan in Boruto's hands and the dust flying around him, Sasuke said, "This is too small. I find it hard to admit that this is a Rasengan." "Damn." Boruto angrily threw the Rasengan in his hand away. After being thrown a certain distance, the Rasengan disappeared into the air. Seeing this, Boruto ran away before Sasuke could say anything. Sasuke kept looking at the direction where the Rasengan was thrown, and only looked away when Sarada's figure landed beside him. "You are always so strict, Dad. You probably don't know Boruto very well, let me tell you. Boruto is not usually like this. It's a miracle that he can get to this point. You know that, right?" Sasuke said. He jumped to conclusions too quickly. "I didn't say he failed. I wanted to accept him as a student." After hearing what Sasuke said, Sarada felt happy for Boruto. Sasuke's gaze once again turned to the direction where Boruto's Rasengan flew. A hole had appeared on a tree in the direction at some point. Fire Nation Muai Village Hyuga Clan. Boruto looked regretful. "So Master was planning to take me in at this time. In that case, Why would he use scientific ninja tools? Even his stupid dad could see that he used scientific ninja tools, let alone his handsome and powerful master ninja world. Boruto is not like Konohamaru and Naruto at the beginning, who used shadow clones to cast Rasengan. In addition, he learned the difficulty level A no mark ninjutsu in just a few days. You can imagine how terrifying his talent is. It seems that only Boruto's Rasengan can be thrown out. Sasuke should have also discovered Boruto's peculiarity. Boruto is not a Jinchuriki and cannot borrow the chakra of the tailed beasts. It is still a bit unclear how he will improve his strength in the future. After all, he was able to shine in the fourth war and his strength increased rapidly, all thanks to the Nine Tails. On screen, on the streets of Konoha village, Boruto put his hands in his pockets and walked down the street with his head lowered hateful. Suddenly, a figure blocked his way. It was Fangzu. Is there any trouble? Screen turned. Boruto followed Fangzu to the laboratory. Fangzu walked in front with his hands behind his back. Oh. That's too bad. But I have a tool that can fix that. Boruto behind him looked left and right. Obviously it was his first time here. A ninjutsu laboratory somewhere. Each ninja used the ninja tools in their hands to release wind and lightning ninjutsu. Boruto looked at this scene and said, oh. It's cool, it's awesome, and it's easy to use. You're guaranteed to get awesome results. Screen turn. This is what your generation of ninja looks like. Boruto stared blankly at the Rasengan in Fang's assistant's hand. Fangzu handed over the high-tech ninja tool in his hand. Now, Master Boruto, let's choose the most suitable ultimate weapon. Screen turn. On the streets of Konoha. When Boruto passed by a clothing store, he looked at his reflection in the glass and murmured, when did I become so dirty? As he spoke, he dusted himself off. Okay. As soon as a smile appeared on his face, he saw Shadow Rock reflected behind him in the glass. He turned around and looked at the seventh Shadow Rock, wondering what he was thinking. Screen turn. Rasengan. The originally small Rasengan gradually became normal size. Sasuke looked at Boruto's right wrist and said nothing. When he saw Boruto's face, he was slightly startled in his eyes. The teenage Naruto and the Boruto in front of him overlap. Hey. What do you think? Fire Nation Muai Village. Boruto covered his face with his hands. Sure enough, the master noticed it at a glance. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.